From the friendly confines of George Sparky Anderson Field, it's Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Oaks and the Orange County Riptide get set to play for the first time all season long on a beautiful Thursday afternoon from Thousand Oaks, California. Welcome into the broadcasting booth, everybody, along with Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. Delighted to be with you on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Sparky Anderson Field, the home of the Conejo Oaks. The Oaks coming off of a 6-1 win over the San Luis Obispo Blues, and they look to continue that big 6-1 victory today in a must-win game against the Orange County Riptide. Along with Jordan Brenner, my name is Jonathan Rifkin. The Oaks coming today at 7-10 overall, 5-8 in the CCL. They're currently in the 5th spot. The Orange County Riptide come in at 10-5 overall, 8-4 in the CCL. They sit comfortably in this 2nd spot. Jordan, the Oaks yesterday had a great game. They put up 15 hits. They scored 6 runs. They left 8 runners left on base, but it didn't matter because they hit so many times and got the runs that they needed to win. They exhausted only 2 arms all game. They struck out over 14 slow batters. It was probably the most complete game that we've seen from this team all season long. How do they continue it today?
Well, it was certainly one of the most complete games that they played all season long. Everything was clicking. We saw a fantastic start from Brandon Ponticelli. Today, we need another great start from Kevin Holcomb. Look, the CCL right now is composed of the 3 top dogs. You have the Santa Barbara Foresters, you have the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Both of those teams, the Oaks have not been too successful against. Obviously, the Oaks did take one up in Healdsburg. The number 3 spot is occupied by this Orange County Riptide team. The Oaks need to assert themselves as the clear number 4 team in this league by securing a win today. This Riptide team, filled with talent top to bottom. They've had a great start to the year, but guess what? The Oaks are also filled with talent top to bottom, and their lineup looks to be clicking just at the right time.
The Oaks are a half a game out of that playoff 4 spot. The top 4 teams in the CCL make the playoffs, and that's based on the CCL record. Overall record is absolutely disregarded at that point in time. The Oaks, once again, are a half game back from the SoCal Catch for that 4th and final playoff spot. They play the Catch on July 7th. They have to finish up a game that's pending. It's 4-4 going to the 10th, and then they'll play a second game on July 7th. So that'll be a big game, but it all starts right here. If the Oaks can take the first of this 2-game series today and then tomorrow in Orange County, regardless of what happens, if they can split this series, I think they come away with high morale, because this Orange County Riptide team, they're defending CCL champs. They're phenomenal. They're a great organization. They have an incredible roster from top to bottom, and they've been tearing up CCL teams. A 1-1 split in the next 2 days, I think the Oaks will take it. Dropping 2 is going to be bad because right now, half a game back is the Academy Barons, and the Saints aren't too far behind the Oaks, also a half a game back. The Blues are only a game back of the Oaks. So that bottom 4 teams are all within 1 game of each other. And you go to that 4 spot in the playoffs for the SoCal Catch sit, they're only half a game up with the Oaks, so there's a 2.5 game difference between the 4th seed and the 8th seed in the CCL. That is pretty incredible, and the Oaks are trying to get back up into the playoff race, and they have to win today to at least get bumped up into the conversation for that 4th spot. The Orange County Riptide, though, won't make it easy. They've been coming off of a very hot streak. They're 10-5 overall. They've played a handful of interleague teams, none that they've lost to except for 1 loss to the Ventura County Bucks. The other times, though, they've been absolutely tearing up the CCL. They've beaten the Barons in 3-game series. They beat the Arroyo Seco Saints, the Blues. And so here they come against the Oaks, and their offense has been hot. A team batting well over 300 to be exact. They're batting, it looks like on the CCL website actually is incorrect. Nope, they're batting 306. Misread it. But regardless, they're batting at 306, which is a clean mark for them. Only to the Conejo Oaks, 246, which has gone up from 237 from yesterday, but still subpar, under 250. I think that 250 mark, if the Oaks can get to that 250 mark and then break it, they'll be in a good position to consistently hit in the field, get runners on base, and really compete with these top 3 teams in the CCL.
Yeah, I agree. Today, you're going to have to watch out for some very dangerous hitters, notably Thomas Delgadillo, who is Delgadillo, excuse me. He's leading off today, hitting .457 on the season. He also has some speed and some power. he's going to be one guy that you have to, keep off base because he is such a dynamic player at the top of the lineup that if he gets on base, you feel like the Tide's going to, go in their favor, pun intended, by the way. But I don't think it comes down to the first inning for Kevin Holcomb. We've seen with Oaks pitchers all year long, when they start off the game not too strong, they have the ability to come back and pitch a good game. You just look at Brandon Ponticelli yesterday. He gave up the leadoff home run in the first inning to Jay Charleston, one of their best hitters. And after that, he was completely dominant for around 6 innings. I think Holcomb, it's not important for him to, get off to his best start. It's how he finishes, and I think that's what he has to concentrate on today.
You mentioned Thomas Delgadillo, the right fielder who's from Fullerton College. You talk about how he's batting over 400 so far. At Fullerton College this past season, in 33 games, he batted .370 with 17 home runs and 22 runs scored. He also had 14 stolen bases. So whatever he did in the JC level, it's carried over into the CCL season, and he's absolutely been raking teams. We'll see if the Oaks can stop him here. We're going to take a break from the national anthem. When we come back, we're going to give you the Riptide batting order, the Oaks field, and then we'll give you the Oaks batting order in the Riptide field in the bottom of the first inning. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be back for Oaks and Riptide right after this. Back here from Sparky Anderson Field. I hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday afternoon, almost evening. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Thursday plans. Now, time for the starting lineup. First, for the visiting Orange County Riptide. They are 10-5 on the season, 8-4 in CCL play, sitting comfortably in the third spot. Batting first and playing right field from Fullerton College is Thomas Delgadillo. Luke Bandy behind him out in center field from Dallas Baptist University. In the 3 spot and playing second base, Steve Curry from Georgia Southern University. Austin Soika behind him in the cleanup spot at third base from Oklahoma Wesleyan University. In the 5th spot out of Ball State and catching in today's game, Chase Sebi. Batting behind him in the 6th spot, Mason McWhorter playing first base, also from Georgia Southern University. In the 7th spot, Daniel Hawkins is DHing in today's game from Sonoma State. Behind him, Bradley Yekic, out in left field from the University of the Pacific. And to round out the Riptide order, the shortstop from Mizzou, Paul Gomez. All the mound for them will be Jack Noble. He's headed to the University of Oregon in the fall. More on him in the bottom of the first inning. And now the Conejo Oaks field. Out and right is Michael Spears, Elijah Alexander in center. The Oaks had DJ Miller, center fielder, last year from Ole Miss. I got him confused. But Elijah Alexander in center. Chase Cockrell left, Brandon Lewis at first, Will Pickett's at second, Sam Shaken over at short. Tanner Wright making his Oaks debut at third base this season. And Bryce Vitt, who just committed to Sonoma State by way of Pierce College, congratulations to him, is catching in today's game. For the Oaks, their starting pitcher from Glendale City College is Kevin Holcomb. on the season for Mr. Holcomb. This is his third start. He has 5 appearances, 0-1 record, 10 2/3 innings pitched, a 5.9 ERA. He does have 15 strikeouts and 5 walks. That is the total that could really benefit the Oaks here if they can really get out ahead of these Orange County batters. And Holcomb can use that strikeout ability that we've seen all season long, and they limit the number of runs that get across the plate. The Oaks could be in a good position to win this game.
That tells me that Holcomb has to work very hard on producing softer contact. We know he's got the strikeout stuff, but obviously the other team is going to put the ball in play on you. You need to learn how to locate and pitch to contact a little bit better.
Holcomb comes set. The first batter, Thomas Delgadillo, steps in, and the first pitch is low for ball 1. 5:04 West Coast time. Pacific time is the first pitch start. The weather is a clean, crisp 68 degrees. Wind very steady, very slow out towards first base, not towards its normal right field spot. 1-0 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count here to Delgadillo. Kevin Holcomb throws a fastball slider changeup combination, all to pretty good effect. Toes the rubber and offers the 1-1. Called a strike on the outside corner, and pretty early the umpire establishing that outside corner where the Oaks like to go. Some umpires don't give those calls to batters, but today we've already seen 2 pitches on the outside corner called for strikes. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Holcomb working methodically, toes the rubber, peers and fires to the Orange County leadoff man upstairs. 2-2 the count. The Oaks are in their navy blues today. White letters on the front outlined by baby blue coloring and white numbers on the back. Some of the team is wearing stirrup socks with navy blue coloring. The Orange County Riptides in their all orange uniforms with blue letters on the front outlined by white and blue numbers on the back. 2-2 pitch popped up out of play into the softball field, and we'll do it again. As Jordan mentioned in the pregame, 35 plate appearances, 35 at-bats. He's batting .457, 9 strikeouts and 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. 2-2 pitch, cracked back against the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And a lot of times you want your leadoff hitter to take a lot of pitches to get that on-base percentage up. But Delgadillo, no walks this year. Doesn't matter, though, because he's hitting .457.
Toiling rubbers, Holcomb trying to stave off the first batter in the ball game. Here's the offering. Another one hit foul. 91 though on the gun. Holcomb can throw. He's been hitting between 88 and 91 in the first couple of pitches he's thrown in this ball game. And the count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Time to bury that slider. Maybe a changeup. Yeah, maybe a changeup away. That would also work.
Or toe that outside corner. He offers the 2-2. Delgadillo takes, and he check swung. They said he went around, and that is strike 3. Delgadillo is now in double digits in strikeouts with 10, and after a long at-bat and a battle, Holcomb comes out victorious with his first strikeout of the ball game on the first batter of the ball game.
You know, in pregame, I said it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, maybe Kevin Holcomb can prove me wrong. How about it's about how you start and about how you finish? Good start to this one.
One away for Luke Bandy, the returner. First pitch, swung and missed for strike 1. Bandy on the season batting .308, which is 8th on the team. That's how good this team has been offensively all season long. 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Struck out 5 times so far. 0-1 pitch, a slider missing up in the zone. 1-1 the count. Holcomb, the number 2 man in the Oaks rotation. They had Brandon Ponticelli yesterday. They have Justin Freeman tomorrow and Dylan Francis on Saturday. 1-1 pitch, runs away. 2-1 the count. Though that could change. Head Coach Lee said depending on how today goes, Dylan Francis may go tomorrow. The Oaks may need his arm. He has been absolutely stellar, perhaps the best starter for the Oaks all season long consistently. Holcomb, though, has shown bouts of brilliance. 2-1. A strike at the knees. 2-2 the count.
The ball is just exploding out of Holcomb's hand today. I'm excited to see where this start ends up.
Luke Bandy from Dallas Baptist University steps back in. 2-2 offering for the second straight batter. It's cracked back up. The bat is broken, and it's over to short off the glove. No play, though. Shaken recovered it. It was a one-hopper back to the mound. Holcomb protected his face wisely, and for good reason. That ball came right back at him. And by the way, the man standing at first base, Luke Bandy, was drafted by the Kansas City Royals out of high school, out of Providence Academy in Bentonville, Arkansas, back in 2016 in the 32nd round, but decided not to go and played at Dallas Baptist instead. He's on with an infield single.
Second baseman from Georgia.
Yeah, and part of the reason that Holcomb had such a difficult time fielding that ball is because the bat snapped in half and the barrel flew right next to him. He was looking at two things coming right at him.
Dangerous play. Runner on first, one away, and Steve Curry stepping in from Georgia Southern. First pitch is upstairs for ball one.
Steve Curry, interesting name, you know, reminiscent of both the coach and best player on the Golden State Warriors. And yes, I did say best player.
No, Kevin Durant's better. We're not going to go into that, though, as the 1-0 offering here comes in. Misses low and away, 2-0 the count. Curry's batting .395, though. Good for a third on the team. 43 at-bats. 6 RBIs. 4 stolen bases. He's struck out 4 times as well. His team doesn't strike out very much. The strikeout leader, Mason McWhorter, who's in the 6th spot, leads the team in strikeouts with 11, and that's not very high. That 2-0 pitch, though, is sliced on a miss, strike one. But the Riptide as a team, on the season, only 125 strikeouts in over 594 plate appearances. That's almost 1 strikeout for every 6 plate appearances. That's a pretty good ratio, as the hit and run was on the 2-1 pitch, though, fouled back, 2-2 the count. And you don't think about that as a good ratio, 1 strikeout for every 6 at-bats, but you go to the Oaks batting stats, and the team as a whole striking out 146 times and 693 plate appearances.
And we've been here for every single one of them.
Some of the Oaks have struck out a little bit more than others as of late. We'll get more on that on the Oaks half of the first. 2-2. Slider swung and missed. Curry strikes out on the beautiful slider at 73 from Holcomb. Out number 2 up on the board. Second strikeout on the game for Holcomb.
Yeah, lovely pitch there. He's been able to bury that slider. It almost has like a curveball movement to it. And there's such a difference in velocity between that pitch and his fastball. It makes it so difficult to make good contact on.
Austin Soika from Oklahoma Wesleyan stepping in now, the cleanup man. With 2 outs and a runner on, that pitch gets away from Vitt behind the dish. On the wild pitch from first to second goes Luke Bandy. And now there's a runner in scoring position with 2 away and a 1-0 count up on the board. Soika on the season, .356 batting average, 45 at-bats. No home runs. Does have 6 RBIs, though. 8 strikeouts. Comes set in the batter's box on the mound. Holcomb has a 1-0 count, toes the rubber and checks the runner and offers. A strike at the knees evens the count. 90 miles an hour on the gun. Holcomb is perhaps the second fastest Oaks pitcher, perhaps behind Dylan Francis, who's been hitting in the high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, we don't have that Oaks pitcher who can explode for 95 this year, but it doesn't matter as long as you have the secondary stuff.
1-1 pitch gets away from Vitt. He'll make a play. No, he won't. That will be another wild pitch, advancing Luke Bandy now to the third base. And another problem the Oaks have seen this season, unforced errors by the other team, allowing them to put themselves in a good position to score. We've seen wild pitches for scores that the Oaks have had no reason really to succumb to, but they have, and that's been a big problem. Mental mistakes. 2-1 pitch. Taken on the outside corner, strike 2. Soika now has a 2-2 count with 2 away and a runner on third. The third 2-2 count we've seen through the first 4 batters in the top of the first inning. Interesting wind here, pretty uncommon for Cal Lutheran. Normally it's blowing pretty steadily out to right. Right now it's very slow and more towards the first base bag. 2-2 pitches in the dirt. Soika thought about it, held back wisely. 3-2 the count.
Big pitch here, and I give credit to Bryce Vitt early in this game. He stole the strike 2 pitch with a beautiful pitch frame right there. He was able to make a big block to save a run, even though he already has let 2 balls right by him.
Holcomb takes a breath from the stretch. The payoff pitch, cracked up the middle into center. Luke Bandy crosses home plate, and the Orange County Riptide are on the board here first. It's 1-0 with a runner on first and 2 away in the top of the first inning. That's why he's the cleanup man, because even if he's not going to hit you home runs, you're assured a base hit more often than not, and right there, that's exactly what the Riptide got.
Yeah, Soika only has 1 extra base hit this year, but it doesn't matter if you're able to drive in runs with your base hits. He's in the perfect spot in this lineup. Clearly, he continues to rake.
1 run on 2 hits here in the top of the first for the Riptide. And that brings up Chase Sebi from Ball State, the Cardinal from Northern Indiana digging in. The first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Sebi batting .348 in 23 plate appearances. 4 strikeouts. 0-1 pitch, cut back, 0-2 the count now to him. Along with those 8 strikeouts and a .348 average, he has a single RBI and 8 singles, 8 hits in those 23 at-bats. He scored 3 times of his 8 trips to first base. Wide stance, almost David Eckstein-like, with his knees very bent and that bat resting on his right shoulder.
I like that reference, Jonathan.
0-2 here from Holcomb. Pitch gets away. Vitt grabs it, though. 1-2 the count. Well, back in the day when, the old 2K video games were out and the Wii was relevant in society.
Oh, I was a big Wiier.
When you swung the Wii remote around, you could really make the bat wave. And I love David Eckstein because he had such a low, wide stance, and you could really swing that bat hard. And he struck out a lot, or I struck out a lot. 1-2 pitch, called ball. The runner goes. The throw is off. And Austin Soika steals his 3rd base of the season to put the Riptide once again in scoring position with 2 outs and another 2-2 count.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit of an anxious, non-confident throw from Vitt. You got to pop up and just unleash the beast.
Holcomb checks the runner. Soika dancing at second base, the 2-2. Slider misses above Vitt, goes back to the bat, stopping on the wild pitch. Soika advances the 3rd. The 3rd wild pitch we've seen in this inning. Bandy went from 1st to 2nd and then 2nd to 3rd before eventually scoring on Austin Soika's RBI single. Soika now stole 2nd and now reached 3rd base on a wild pitch. Another runner 90 feet away from scoring here for the Riptide. Holcomb with another 3-2 count. The 2nd straight batter. It's been a long inning for him so far. Toes the rubber and offers the payoff pitch. Sebi cracks it over in between short and 3rd in the left field. Coming in and scoring is Soika. And Chase Sebi gets his 2nd RBI of the season. And that puts the 2nd run up on the board here in the top of the first inning. It's 2-0 Riptide early.
And that's why you see they're the 3rd best team in the CCL. I mean, this team slugs. They keep the line moving. They're not afraid to attack you with 2 outs in the inning. And Holcomb's going to have to realize what he's doing wrong and recover quickly if the Oaks want to stay in this ballgame.
2 runs on 3 hits already. Both the runs came with 2 outs. It was a strikeout, single, strikeout. And then 2 consecutive singles have brought runners in here for the Riptide. They have been doing what they've been doing all season long, getting base runners on with 2 away and keeping the innings long. Mason McWhorter steps in and takes the first pitch low for ball 1. This guy is perhaps one of the more dangerous batters in the lineup. He does have a .316 average, 11 strikeouts, which leads the team, but he has 13 RBIs, which also leads the team, as well as 3 home runs, which leads the team. 1-0 pitch, though, is a 2-hopper over to short. Pickett's on the right field grass, fires it to first in time, finally, for out number 3. 6 batters in the top of the first inning produced 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. They leave a runner stranded at first base. We're through half an inning. The Oaks will have their half of the beginning of the game on the other side of this break. Riptide lead 2-0 right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the first inning, he's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. Happy to be with you on a Thursday afternoon from Thousand Oaks. The Oaks and the Riptide duking it out for the first time all season on the baseball diamond. The Oaks batting order looks as follows. They trail 2-0 here early. Michael Spears out of Ole Miss playing right field will lead off. Brandon Lewis will bat behind him, playing first base from UC Irvine. Elijah Alexander playing center field from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley is in the third spot. Cleaning up for the Oaks and playing left field, Chase Cockrell from Ole Miss. Sam Shaken bats fifth out of Valparaiso playing short. Will Pickett's is in the sixth spot, playing second base. Going to Cal State Bakersfield in the fall by way of Pierce Junior College. Behind him, Michael Tillman, DHing, headed to Cal State LA in the fall by way of Pierce Junior College. Bryce Fitz in the eighth spot from Sonoma State, and Tanner Wright rounds out the order from Cal Lutheran for the Oaks. First pitch to Michael Spears is low for ball one. Jack Noble headed to the University of Oregon in the fall.
Five scoreless innings this year for Noble. He's been fantastic.
Except for that pitch right there, which went well over the head of the righty Spears for ball two. Spears had a phenomenal day yesterday in the number 2 spot for the Oaks in the 6-1 win. He had 3 hits, all singles, 2 runs, a stolen base. Went 3 for 5 in total. His batting average has been slowly but surely creeping up as he digs back in. 2-0 pitch here from Noble. Slapped back against the screen. 2-1 the count. So far on the season, for the man who sports the number 18 on his back, he finally cracked the 200 mark yesterday. He's batting .209. Leads the team in runs with 10. Leads the team in stolen bases with 7. Also has an on-base percentage of .256. 2-1 pitch to him is a strike at the knees. 2-2 the count. I'll give you the field here after this at-bat for the Riptide. Noble offers the 2-2, bouncing in the dirt. 3-2 now here to Spears on the season. He's walked 3 times and struck out 6 times in 46 plate appearances. Payoff pitch here from Noble. Popped up to center field. Running to his left is Bandy, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Thomas Delgadillo's in right, Luke Bandy in center, Bradley Yekic in left. Mason McWhorter at first, Steve Curry at second, Paul Gomez over at short, Austin Soika at third. Behind the dish is Chase Sebi, and on the mound, as I mentioned, Jack Noble. And that'll bring up Brandon Lewis, who actually changed his walk-up music today because his batting average has declined a little bit. He had 4 strikeouts yesterday, very uncharacteristic for the Irvine Superstars. He skies that one down the right field line, going back to the wall. Delgadillo looks it over the wall. Brandon Lewis, who struck out 4 times yesterday on the first pitch he sees today, rips it right over that right field wall and puts the Oaks within 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. That's his 3rd home run of the season.
You could just tell when Brandon Lewis was hitting batting practice today that he was in for a big day. He was knocking home runs not only to right field, which is normal for Cal Lutheran, but he was hitting shots to left field. And you don't usually see that in batting practice because of the wind. And the wind was blowing a little bit earlier. So Lewis, a home run here. He's due for a big day.
First pitch to Elijah Alexander misses outside for ball 1. And I guess the change in walk-up music worked because of that home run, I guess. 1-0 offering here to Alexander, cracked back, 1-1 the count. Alexander is batting .371 on the season. He's now second on the team in home runs with 2. Leads the team in RBIs with 10. 10 strikeouts, 6 walks. 1-1 pitch. Bounces in the dirt, 2-1 the count. And that was the first run given up all season long by Jack Noble. You said he was 5 scoreless. And right there, gets his first earned run in his 6th inning pitch all season long. 2-1 pitch. High to center field, though not very far. Making the catch very easily is Bandy for a quick out number 2. 2 flyouts to center, though in between those a home run. 2 outs, 1 run around. 2-1 to score with Chase Cockrell stepping in. The semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award, named for the best collegiate player over the college season. Chase Cockrell was named a semifinalist, which means in the top 35. Batted .324 at Ole Miss this past season. He was absolutely incredible. Broke onto the scene And so far batting .407 on the season for the Oaks. 0-0 pitch, though, is a curveball in there for strike one. Noble, 1 out away from getting out of the inning. Offers the 0-1 pitch to Cockrell. Popped up to right center field. That one goes back and drops. On the one hop, Delgadillo fields it and holds Cockrell over at first base. Chase Cockrell makes it look oh so easy. He had a triple on a pitch that jammed him yesterday. And once again, the Oaks get a 2-out base knock. That's where they won the game yesterday, and they'll look to extend this inning here with Sam Shakin stepping in.
And the Oaks, it looks like they're carrying their momentum from yesterday over to today, at least on the offensive end. Lewis, the shot to right field. Alexander, a hard hit ball. Spears also had a hard fly out. And now the Cockrell base hit to right field.
Shakin stepping in from Valparaiso. Runner on first, 2 away. First pitch, outside ball 1. Good stop, though, by Sebi. On the season, for the returner from Chatsworth, California, but goes to Valparaiso for college. Batting .276. 10 strikeouts, 1 home run, 2 walks, a couple RBIs, 1-0 pitch. At the knees, strike 1, evens the count. By a couple, I mean 7. Good for third on the team. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away here, bottom of the first inning. Noble checks the runner at first, comes set on the stretch, and will attempt to pick off Cockrell, though nothing doing. Cockrell is not a threat at all. Once the pitcher comes set, he won't try to steal a base, but he can get around when a ball is hit into play. Takes a very easy step off of first, within arm's reach if he needs to dive back. Leans on his right foot. 1-1 pitch from Noble. A strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch there. 1-2 the count.
Look for Shakin to go the other way. That's what he likes to do, especially with 2 strikes. Has a very good approach at the plate, always thinking the other way.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Shakin. Noble offers. Hit down the right field line, though very foul, and that ball is going to run out to the grass. And Shakin once again faces a 1-2 count. Will Pickett's waiting on deck. Michael Tillman in the hole. Should we get that far in this inning? 1 run on 2 hits for the Oaks. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Riptide. Both these teams have gotten their runs with 2 outs. Noble checking Cockrell. Now comes set on the rubber. Pearson fires the 1-2. Slapped down to center field. Bandy takes a couple of steps to his right and makes the catch for out number 3. The Oaks get a run on the home run, but all 3 outs come by way of the fly out to center. They strand a runner on. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Left on first base was Chase Cockrell. 2-1 our score. Headed to the top of the second inning. You're watching Oaks versus Riptide on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Sonoma State power hitter, Daniel Hawkins, lead things off here to kick off the second inning. Welcome back, everybody. He's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin. You're watching Oaks versus Riptide on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon, almost evening. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Thursday plans. Holcomb back on the mound for his second inning of work. It deals the first pitch low to Hawkins, ball one. Hawkins so far on the season batting .304, 3 RBIs, 7 strikeouts. He does have 1 home run as well on the season. Waves that long bat over his right shoulder. Holcomb offers the 1-0. Fouled right off his right foot. Goes out of play. 1-1 the count now to Hawkins. Overall, Hawkins' average is exactly where the Riptide team batting average is at .304. They have been incredible this season, and this past season he batted .229 for Sonoma State, the Seawolves. 1-1 pitch, bounces in the dirt. Nice pick there from Vitt. 2-1 the count. His batting average actually started off very well. He was batting .300 by March 5th, but went on a little bit of a slump through the beginning of April. His batting average dipped down back to .215 by April 13th, but he was able to pick it back up and finish with a .229 mark. 2-1 pitch, though, swung and a miss, 2-2 the count. So he did have a really good first month of the season, batting .300, but his lowest point was the .200 mark against Cal Poly Pomona on March the 30th, but slowly but surely worked his way back up to .230. 2-2 pitch. Slider missing low and away. Full count now here. Seems like Holcomb has faced a lot of 3-2 counts. He faced 3 in the first inning and now starts off the second inning with a 3-2 count once again. Payoff pitch, up and in, ball 4. Vitt held it there, though. I think the umpire's mind was made up before that happened. And that's the first walk of the ball game on the first batter in the second inning.
14, Bradley Jekic.
That'll bring up Bradley Jekic from the University of the Pacific on the season for him. Batting .268. 7 RBIs, 7 strikeouts. 1 home run as well. The lefty in the left-handed batter's box takes a pitch low and inside for ball 1. That wouldn't make very much sense. Holcomb's fastball at 85 right there, perhaps the slowest of the fastballs we've seen him throw today. Hawkins over at first, does not have a stolen base. Takes a very short lead off of first base. Holcomb not even checking him. Toes the rubber. Peers and fires the 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. From 85 miles an hour to 91 miles an hour. He's really changing up his speeds on the fastball, and that's an asset, but you have to be able to throw it for strikes. That's the number 1 rule. The Oaks have David Appleby walking out to the bullpen right now. 2-0 pitch, called a strike at the knees. Hawkins looked like he was going, though. Put on the brakes about a quarter way down the line. And Jekic has a 2-1 count. Pickoff attempt. Oh, it was very close, but Hawkins dove back safely. Lewis had the glove down, but Hawkins was able to put his hand under the glove. Jekic just finished his first season at Pacific. He played at Treasure Valley Community College in Idaho originally. He helped the team to an NWAC East Regional title in 2017. 2-1 pitch misses inside, 3-1 the count. In his junior season, he played in 48 games and made 47 starts. He went 5 for 6 against Santa Clara back in March. Against Arizona State, he tied a career high in runs with 3 in the ball game. He had a very productive season for the Pacific Tigers. Teammate of the Oaks, Tyler Ryan, who's not in the game today. 3-1 pitch. Popped up. Off the inside part of the bat, out of play, 3-2 the count. Another batter facing a 3-2 count. Jakic, though, on the season was 5th on the team for the Pacific Tigers in batting average. 282 mark. Not too shabby, especially for a Pacific Tiger team that overall had a pretty good season in the WCC. Payoff pitch, fouled back, and we'll do it again. Feel free to tweet at us at Caneo_Oaks. He's at Jordan Brenner 31. I'm at Johnny Riff. Or chat with us in the YouTube live chat box. We always love listening to fans or foes, no matter who you are. Questions, comments, concerns, another pickoff attempt, nothing doing. Whatever your heart desires, that is PG, I would say. Feel free to talk it up in the YouTube live chat. Jeff Francis, another special shout out to you. Thank you so much for your support. Without fans like you, we wouldn't have a job. Payoff pitch upstairs, ball 4. And on 6 pitches, Jakic is over at first. Hawkins over to second. And that's 2 consecutive walks to start off the second inning for the Riptide. They have Paul Gomez stepping in.
Shortstop from Missouri, number 2, Paul Gomez.
Paul Gomez from Missouri. With 2 on, nobody away, has a great opportunity to extend this Riptide lead. 2-1 is very slim, obviously, here only in the top of the second, so there's still more opportunities in this game. Obviously, the Riptide want to keep this hot streak going and extend the lead early to try to push the issue on the Oaks. First pitch, fouled back, strike 1.
Holcomb's got to do a better job finishing batters. Already 3 walks today. That number is never a good sign. But once he settles down and gets the ball in the zone, he's got wicked off-speed stuff to finish off hitters.
Checks Hawkins. Offers the 0-1. Slider in there for strike 2 on the outside corner. And finally, Holcomb is ahead of a batter in this ball game. He's faced 2-2 and 3-2 counts for the majority of that bats that he's had to deal with. This is the number 9 batter in the order for the Riptide. Towing the rubber. Once again, 0-2 pitch. Gets away from him. Vitt backhands it. Keeps the runners at bay. 1 ball up on the board now. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, and that slider right there is going to set up his next pitch. I like what Vitt and Holcomb are doing right here. They're both on the same page. Every pitch has a purpose. That slider away, maybe he goes a fastball up and in, but I always like when the catcher and the pitcher are on the same page and they have a strategy, a plan to get the hitter out.
The OC Riptide coming off a series split against the SoCal Catch and a home and home. They lost the first game 8-6 on Tuesday, and then won yesterday's game, 6-3. 1-2 pitch, drops low, 2-2 the count here to Paul Gomez, the Mizzou Tiger, on the season, batting just under 250. 6 RBIs, 7 strikeouts. Holcomb checks Hawkins at second. Hawkins taking a very big lead. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Gomez caught looking for out number 1 here in the top of the second inning. Runner still on first and second. And Thomas Delgadillo, who was the first strikeout victim of 3 so far for Holcomb, steps in.
Yeah, Gomez right there trying to sell a ball on that pitch, but everybody in the stadium knew that was a perfect pitch by Holcomb on the inside corner, was rewarded for it. And the umpire's been calling strikes on that side of the plate all game long to both righties and lefties. That should not come as a surprise to the Riptide.
Delgadillo in the left-handed batter's box swings and misses on a pitch into the dirt for strike 1. As I mentioned, as he stepped in, he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking to kick off the ball game. But waiting on deck, Luke Bandy. The Oaks are trying to get out of this inning. Double play depth for the middle infield. If Holcomb can get one of those changeups or sliders to be hit on the ground, the Oaks professionally could turn 2. That middle infield is just so stellar. 0-1 pitch, cracked down over the dugout. 0-2 the count. Pickett's over at second, Shaken at short, and Tanner right at third. All 3 have been incredible fielders for the Oaks. Tanner Wright got his second error of the season yesterday in a ball that went through his legs when he was playing second base, but overall, he's been very reliable as an infielder for the Oaks. Tall Kevin Holcomb asked for a second pitch from Vitt, didn't like the first one. Comes set. Hawkins takes a very substantial lead off of second. The 0-2 pitch. Half-hearted swing. Did he go the appeal? They said he went around. Strike 3. Delgado strikes out for his second time. The fourth strikeout on the game for Holcomb. And just like that, there's 2 outs. Bryce Vitt wants to have a conversation to try and figure out how to get Luke Bandy out, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored.
And just look what happens when Holcomb gets ahead of hitters early in the count. I mean, it's almost as if they have no chance when he gets ahead because his off-speed stuff with 2 strikes is just so deadly.
2 runs on 3 hits for the Riptide. They have walked twice in this inning, and that's how they have runners on first and second. Daniel Hawkins at second, Bradley Yekic at first. The first pitch to Bandy misses low and away for ball 1. And he singled, advanced to second on a wild pitch, then to third on a wild pitch. Eventually was driven in by Austin Soika's single 2 batters later. From Dallas Baptist. Swing that bat right over his right shoulder as Holcomb steps off and looks both runners back. The Orange County Riptide dugout wanted a balk, but Holcomb was not in the stretch yet. Quiet day here at the ballpark. A handful of fans. Not a lot of Riptide fans. A couple of kids in the crowd. Probably about 20 for the Oaks. 1-0 pitch. Popped foul. Back behind us. Evens the count. And it's kind of a drastic difference. Over 3,000 fans yesterday in the Slow Blues Park up in Sinsheimer in San Luis Obispo, where the Oaks won 6-1, and you come back to Cal Lutheran and it's a little bit quieter, a little bit more somber. The Oaks do have their days when they get a lot of fans. Today, though, not one of those days.
Yeah, totally different. But good in their own ways.
1-1 pitch, a slider, missing away, 2-1 the count. The Oaks don't mind it, because at the end of the day, they're here to play baseball.
It kind of seems as if because of the, quiet crowd, a lot of teams underestimate the Oaks. And I think that works to their advantage going forward.
2-1 pitch, misses low and away, 3-1 the count. Bryce Vitt tried to frame it. Umpire didn't bite. Now he's behind in the count. Holcomb trying to keep this OC Riptide offense at bay in what's been a long second inning following a long first inning. 3-1 pitch in. Hit up, very high, but very far behind us and well out of play. Full count now. This is the 11th batter of the ball game and the 6th full count that we've seen. That is a rough number for Holcomb. He's throwing a lot of pitches here through the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he is. But it's all about results. If he can get through it, right now, right here, all will be forgiven of that high pitch count.
David Appleby still warming up, this time very, very enthusiastically. He was just throwing some warm-up tosses earlier, now in full stretch. Payoff pitch, runners go. Another foul ball, though. Protecting very well is Luke Bandy, and that puts Holcomb in a very precarious spot. Do you go with the changeup? Do you go with the fastball? I don't think you go with the slider unless you know that you can get Bandy swinging on it. But so far, this Orange County team has been very patient. And the last thing you want to do is walk the bases loaded with 2 outs. Both the Riptide runs, Jordan, have come with 2 outs in this game.
I go with the fastball here, and you trust your defense behind you.
Holcomb takes a breath. Payoff pitch. Runners go. High to left field in foul territory. Out of third base is Tanner Wright. He's tracking it down, but it drops into the Oaks bullpen and goes over the wall. And for a third straight time, we'll have a 3-2 count. 8th pitch pending of the at-bat. That was a mile, it seemed like, for Tanner Wright to trek to. And I didn't think he was going to get anywhere near, but he was about 2 steps away from catching it.
Yeah, I thought that was completely out of play. Tanner Wright made a good effort.
He's very fast. Today, the only Division III player in the Oaks lineup. And he plays like he's a D1 player, though. He's been stellar for the Oaks offensively and defensively, though that may be a testament to the fact the Oaks play at his home field in Cal Lutheran, where he was a star for the championship team last year. Payoff pitch, runners go. Slider misses away, ball 4. And on 8 pitches, Luke Bandy takes first base. And now the bases are all loaded. Daniel Hawkins at third, Bradley Yekic at second, and Luke Bandy at first. 3 walks in the inning has head coach Schalise striding to the mound to have a conversation with his pitcher. He just has to get one more out, but now with the bases loaded and the dangerous Steve Curry stepping in, the conversation has to happen about what you do in this situation. We talk a lot about how Dave Schalise, the head coach for the Oaks, his mentality, which is very, very good, is winning comes second, mentality and learning comes first. But right here, David Appleby will get his name called. Kevin Holcomb will stride back to the Oaks dugout. We'll give you his stat line and more on David Appleby after this. Bases all loaded, 2 outs in a 2-1 ball game. Don't go anywhere. It's been a fun one so far in the top of the second. We'll be right back on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Santa Barbara City College product turned Michigan Wolverine. David Appleby is on the mound here. That concludes Kevin Holcomb's outing. 1 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. All 3 walks here in the inning that have left the bases loaded with 2 away for David Appleby. On the season for the Oaks returner, who actually started his summer collegiate career up north in the West Coast League up in Washington. This will be his 7th appearance. He has 2 starts, a 1-2 record, a 5.84 ERA, 10 walks, 14 runs, 7 strikeouts. He's also allowed 2 home runs and has hit 4 batters. He's put in a lot of work. Was originally a Utah Ute, transferred to Santa Barbara City College, is now headed to Michigan from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. 0-0 pitch here to Curry. Popped up into left center field. Alexander shields the sun from his face and makes the catch for out number 3. So on 1 pitch, Appleby is able to get out of the jam that Holcomb left him in. No runs, no hits, no errors. The bases left juice, though, here for the Orange County Riptide on the 3 walks. The Oaks still trail 2-1. They'll have their 6th, 7th, and 8th batters due up in the bottom of the inning right after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. future Oregon Duck, Jack Noble, on the mound here for the Riptide in his second inning of work. The Oaks trailing 2-1. Will try to keep that score the same through the bottom half of the inning. The Riptide left the bases loaded on their half of this second inning. And Will Picketts will step in here, headed to Cal State Bakersfield in the fall. Takes a curveball in there for strike one. Son of Bill Picketts, the head coach at Pierce Junior College, and also the very first head coach in Caneo Oaks baseball history on the season for Will Picketts in his second year with the team, batting 0.48. First pitch is a one-hopper over to Thoit. Soika dives over, gets up, and fires it over to first on a beautiful play for out number one. First ground out of the ball game on the Oaks side of things. They flew out all three times for their outs back in the first. But the Riptide also only ground out once so far this game. They've either struck it out or flown out otherwise. Not a lot of balls in play in the infield so far as Michael Tillman steps in. Tillman on the season, batting 200. 0-0 pitch, bounces in the dirt for ball one. And that's from leading Pierce Junior College in batting average this past season. He is headed to Cal State LA in the fall. 1-0 offering quickly here from Noble. A curveball at the knees for strike one. 1-1 the count to Tillman. Along with that 200 batting average, he has 7 walks, which is tied for first on the team with Bart West for the Oaks, who's not in today's game. 15 strikeouts, which is good for third on the team. As well as 5 RBIs. Swings and misses on a pitch in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Jack Noble gave up his first run of the season in 6 innings pitched in the last inning against Brandon Lewis. 1-2 pitch down the line, and Oaks third base coach Brian Wilson tried to barehand it but mishandled it. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jack Noble committed to the University of Oregon his junior year at Claremont High School. He took an unofficial trip, also went to UC Santa Barbara and the University of San Diego, but liked Coach George Horton's squad the best. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, and you see why the Ducks want him. He is very methodical. He pitches very well. His fastball is hit between 88 and 91, and for an upcoming freshman, that could mean a lot for the Oregon squad. 2 outs now. That's his second strikeout of, actually first strikeout of the ball game. And that brings out Bryce Vitt, headed to Sonoma State from Pierce Junior College. First pitch, misses low for ball 1. On the season for Bryce Vitt, he's batting 200 as well, though as of late he's batted much better than how he started off the season. Takes a curveball in there for strike 1. 6 strikeouts, 5 walks, 3 RBIs, 9 total bases in 30 plate appearances. Noble quickly dealing the 1-1. Up and in, 2-1 the count. Noble isn't working very slowly. He's trying to keep these Oaks offensive players off balance, and it's been working so far. He's retired everybody with the exception of Chase Cockrell and Brandon Lewis. Deals the 2-1. Upstairs, well over the head of Vitt. 3-1 the count now. Stepping back in here, Bryce Vitt. Noble offers. 3-1 pitch, popped back out of play. 3-2 the count now to the future Sonoma State Seawolf. And for Jack Noble, he was a 2018 Rawlings Perfect Game honorable mention. He was also an All-American for the California region. He was a 2017 underclass high school honorable mention as that pitch is slapped into left field, out of third base. Soika tried to dive and make the catch, but he couldn't. And the Oaks get a 2-out base knock. Bryce Vitt at first base.
It's time for Coach Solis to figure out a way to get catchers more at-bats. All 3 of them swing the bat exceptionally well for their position. And if you got to get creative with it, I'm all for it. Maybe a start at first base, maybe a DH spot for Cam and Co., Sims and Vitt. All 3 of them are pure swingers of the bat, and they all have pop in their bats.
Wright steps in and takes a first pitch curveball at the knees. Noble has started 3 of the 4 batters he's faced this inning with a curveball that has been taken for a strike. He's been getting ahead of these batters, and that has been a good sign. From the stretch, checks Vitt at first. Peers and fires the 0-1 pitch. Wright takes it outside, bouncing in the dirt. Sebi, though, blocking it, 1-1 the count. Tanner Wright from Cal Lutheran on the season, batting .302. He leads the team in singles with 12. 6 RBIs, 5 walks, and only 2 strikeouts in 50 plate appearances. If you want a reliable guy to get the ball in play, this is your man. Vitt takes a step-and-a-half lead off of first. 1-1 pitch here. Cracked in the same spot as Vitt's last pitch, and Tanner Wright knocks in a 2-out hit. The Oaks had runners on first and second. Back-to-back they go with 2 outs. And now back to the top of the order for Michael Spears. He's 0 for 1. But with a runner in scoring position, the tying run, you can expect a lot of patience in Spears looking for that pitch that he knows he can hit into the deep part of this ballpark.
And he's the guy you want up because he's been squaring up balls left and right.
Vitt played 24 games for Ole Miss this past season, no starts. Digging in here in a big spot. 2 away, 2 on. The Oaks trailing by 1. 0-0 pitch, bounces in the dirt. Sebi able to get in front of it. 1-0 the count here to Spears. And Spears started off the season 0 for 18, but he's really worked his way back from that slump. As soon as Chase Cockrell, his Ole Miss friend, joined the team, it seemed like he snapped out of it, and he's been phenomenal. 1-0 pitch, a curveball in there for strike 1. That curveball from Noble has been deadly so far today. Though only 1 strikeout, the Oaks have been taking the curveballs but hitting the fastballs. 1 run, 4 hits for the Oaks, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Riptide, the defending CCL champs. Noble offers the 1-1, half-hearted swing, misses. 1-2 the count here now. Noble, 1 strike away from the second inning being over.
This is where Spears has to shorten up and do whatever he can to put the ball in play.
Takes a breath, 1-2 pitch, upstairs, 2-2 the count. And the stuff that Noble has should be what the Oregon Ducks are looking for. They lost Matt Mercer in the draft. They have had a lot of struggling pitchers the last couple of seasons. They finished in the bottom of the pack most recently. 2-2 pitch is cracked down the line in the left field, and once again, the Oaks get a 2-out hit. Vitt is going to test the arm of the left fielder. Yekic, the throw comes in, and he's out. The cutoff man, Soika, was able to throw out Bryce Vitt, and this inning is over. The Oaks get no runs on 3 hits, no errors. They strand 2 on base. That was an opportunity, but the Oaks couldn't convert, and we'll have to leave it there. The Oaks trail 2-1 on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Austin Soika
The Riptide.
leads things off here for the Riptide. He's 1 for 1 today. They are leading the Oaks 2-1. The Oaks had an opportunity to tie up the game. They got 3 consecutive base knocks with 2 outs, but Bryce Vitt tested the arm of Bradley Yekic and was thrown out at home. The first pitch here to Soika popped up down the first base line. Is there room? No. Lewis looks it out of play for strike 1. 1 run, 5 hits for the Oaks, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Riptide, the defending CCL champs. As David Appleby toes the rubber and offers the 0-1 pitch. Slapped into the left field, shallow part, I should say, of left field for a base hit. It was right in between shortstop and third, which is where all 3 of the Oaks hits in the last inning went. And right here, Soika doing his best to continue that streak. He's now 2 for 2, and he's on first base. Last season, the Oaks beat the Riptide on June 26, 12-9. That was their only matchup. Actually, that was one of 2 matchups in June. As the first pitch into Chase Sebi is taken for strike 1. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI knock. The Oaks also beat the Riptide on Sunday, June 11th. That was when the Riptide played at Concordia Irvine. The Oaks won that one 5-3. So they went 2-0 against the Riptide in the month of June. In the month of July, they had a doubleheader against the Riptide. The Riptide won both those games. 0-1 pitch, swung and a missed. 0-2 the count here to Chase Sebi from Ball State. Step off of first base is Soika. The Oaks in double play formation in the middle infield. Shaken and Pickets. 0-2 pitch here from Appleby. Cracked over to short. It won't be enough for the double play, but Shaken makes the sure out at first base. Almost like a sacrifice. Soika over at second. Sebi out on the 6-3 putout, and that puts out number 1 up on the board. Leave it to Sam Shaken to be all reliable. Always making the smart decision in the field, and he's been stellar for the Oaks infield, not only this season, but last season as well. Mason McWhorter now will step in. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to short to end the first inning. Waves that bat over his left shoulder. The 0-0 pitch, up and away, ball 1. Appleby taking a breath. Soika takes a step off of second. Now 2 steps off of second. Dancing around the 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. Strike 1. David Appleby, a local product, played at Agora High School just down the road. Came up in the Westlake baseball system during his Little League days. Shout out to his mom, Victoria, the entire Appleby family. Toes the rubber. Checks the runner. Peers and fires the 1-1. Cracked over to second on the second hop. Pickets. Over to Lewis at first for out number 2. On the play, though, Soika advances to third. The Riptide now have a runner 90 feet away from scoring in the form of Austin Soika. McWhorter grounds out. That brings up Daniel Hawkins, who's 0 for 0 with a walk.
The designated hitter, number 17, Daniel Hawkins.
He was stranded at third base last inning when the Riptide left the bases loaded. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Riptide, 1 run, 5 hits for the Oaks. The righty from Sonoma State steps back in. The 0-0 pitch, a strike at the knees. David Appleby. There was a fastball slider changeup combination, the typical arsenal you'd see from a pitcher nowadays. He's been developing that fastball, and it's been effective. The slider has gotten away from him as of late, but this is summer collegiate play. This is where you learn how to control those pitches. 0-1 pitch misses upstairs, 1-1 the count. Bradley Yekic on deck. Should we get that far in the inning? 2 away, runner on third. 2-1 the score in what's been a long first 3 innings, but not a lot of offense to show for it. A lot of pitching on both sides has accounted for the fact that we're already an hour into this ball game. 1-1 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. Puts Hawkins behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Raising that bat over his right shoulder. Hawkins comes in and cracks the 1-2 pitch over to third right. Fires it to Lewis at first in time for out number 3. 6-3, 4-3, 6-3 negates the single by Austin Soika. He's stranded on third. No runs hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. We're through 2.5. The Oaks have Lewis, Alexander, and Cockrell, the dangerous 2, 3, and 4 hitters, due up on the other side of the break. You're watching Oaks versus Riptide. The Riptide lead the Oaks 2-1 on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Leading off the third inning for the Oaks. First baseman, number 23,
Brandon Lewis, headed to UC Irvine in the fall by way of Pierce Junior College, steps in. He is a counter for the Oaks' lone run of the ball game with a home run out to right field. We'll look to recreate it here. He went 1 for 5 yesterday with 4 strikeouts and a double. The first pitch to him bounces in the dirt from Noble for ball 1. And I talked to Lewis before the game. He said, "How'd you like calling my game yesterday?" I said, "What? I enjoyed the double." He said, "What about the 4 strikeouts?" I said, "Well, I kind of forgot about those." Made us forget all about them on the first home run of the ball game. Takes that pitch inside, 2-0 the count.
Yeah, Lewis is a guy whose slumps are very short-lived. He'll maybe have a slump for a half of a game, or maybe a full game, but not usually more than that.
2-0 pitch, cracked back against the screen, 2-1 the count. Yeah, he is very uncharacteristically struck out 4 times yesterday, and that is very rare. He was committed to CSUN last year, but decommitted, went to Pierce, and he's going to be quite an asset for Irvine, in fall. They're very excited to have him. 2-1 pitch, bounces in the dirt, 3-1 the count. It seems like Noble, who was settling in the last inning through the first 2 batters, kind of got shaken up after Vitt, Wright, and Spears all hit him with 2 away. Bryce Vitt was thrown out trying to take home. 3-1 pitch, misses low, ball 4. And Brandon Lewis draws his 7th walk of the season to lead the Oaks half of the 3rd inning off.
Center fielder, number 19, Elijah Alexander.
First walk drawn by the Conejo Oaks of the ball game. They have given up 3 walks, but no runs on those 3 walks by Holcomb in the 2nd inning. Here the Oaks trying to muster a run if they can with the tying run at first base. And Elijah Alexander, who was a home run shy of the cycle yesterday, stepping in. Noble offers the first pitch outside for ball 1.
Noble better be careful here. If you miss a pitch over the middle of the plate to Alexander, he's swinging a very hot bat. He's got a lot of pop in the tank. I'd watch out.
Pickoff attempt first. Lewis gets back easily. Triple, double, single in that order for Elijah Alexander. Had another at-bat in the 8th. He popped out to left field trying to force one out of the ballpark to hit for the cycle. Noble offers the 1-0. Runner goes, pitches a ball in the dirt. The throw is in time. Beautiful throw from Sebi to Gomez. Guns out Brandon Lewis, and the Oaks have out number one up on the board now. And what I believe should be a 2-0 count to Elijah Alexander. No, 1-1 count. My mistake.
What a throw by Chase Sebi behind the plate. Wow, right on the money.
Alexander swings and misses on a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. Brandon Lewis did have 6 stolen bases. That was his first time being caught. Now 6 for 7 on the season. The 1-2 pitch. Swung and missed. Strike 3. Alexander strikes out. The second strikeout of the game for Noble. And now 2 quick outs up on the board. The Oaks have done this a lot this season, finding ways to get base runners on early. And then, for all intents and purposes, basically giving it up themselves without much issue forced by the other team. The Oaks got Brandon Lewis on first base. He was out stealing. And then Alexander struck out. First pitch to Cockrell was a strike. Cockrell was 1 for 1. He singled back in the first, but was left at first base. Sam Shaken waiting on deck flew out thereafter. 0-1 pitch bounces in the dirt. 1-1 the count. We haven't seen a lot of pitches miss high from Noble. Most of them have been low. A couple of wild pitches to his day so far, but he's been pretty good besides that home run to Brandon Lewis. 1-1 pitch is a curveball upstairs. 2-1 the count. Chase Cockrell in his second year with the Oaks. Had a limited role his first season at Ole Miss. Just finished up his sophomore season where he absolutely exploded onto the scene. 2-1 pitch. Slapped over to short on the second up. Gomez fires it over to first. Cockrell didn't even attempt to beat that one out. For out number 3. More than Cockrell on the other side of the break. The Oaks get no runs on a hit, no errors. Actually, no hits. My mistake. Lewis was walked. Nobody left on base. We're through 3 full here. From George Sparky Anderson Field, the Oaks trail the Riptide 2-1. Top of the 4th after this. Back here for the top of the 4th inning. The Oaks trail 2-1. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, and for play-by-play of the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
Thank you, Jonathan. Wonderful job as usual. Bradley Yekic, the new hitter, stepping in. No official plate appearance today, or at bat today. He walked in his only plate appearance, advanced to second base, and was stranded. Appleby sets at the belt, fires the first pitch down and in. 88 miles an hour on the fastball, 1-0. Yekic entered the day with a .268 average, 7 RBIs, and 1 dinger on the season. The 1-0 pitch, Appleby peers in and fires. A fastball lifted to center field. Alexander takes a few steps back and makes the play for the first out of the inning. Next up, Paul Gomez, the shortstop from the University of Missouri, struck out looking back in the second inning in his only at-bat today.
Shortstop number 2, Paul Gomez.
Appleby has been very good out there on the mound. He had a rough outing against Healdsburg Prune Packers on Saturday in the second game of the doubleheader. But settling in right here, he gave 4 runs in only an inning and 2/3 in that outing.
Appleby's first pitch, he tugged a fastball outside, 1-0. Infield playing pretty straight away. Same with the outfield. Medium, deep in the outfield. The 1-0 pitch from Appleby. Inside corner, 1-1, and that has been called all day long.
Yeah.
To righties, to lefties, that inside or that left side of the plate from our vantage point has been called.
I talked about the beginning of the game. It was established early and it's been consistent.
1-1, off speed at the knees, 1-2. Gomez has a .231 average. He's actually been hit by pitches 4 times this year to lead. The Riptide, next pitch, curveball bounced in the dirt, 2-2.
You hear the rooster crowing behind us. There's actually a very nice little urban farm on the campus behind us, and the animals are in full effect right now.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. A beautiful pitch from Appleby. He buried the off-speed pitch in the dirt. Gomez was fooled he couldn't reach it for the strikeout. And that is the first strikeout
Right fielder number
for
2, Thomas
David Appleby
Delgadillo.
today.
And he's been working well. Again, as I mentioned, 1 2/3 innings in Saturday's loss, 11-2 loss against the Healdsburg Prune Packers, and gave 4 runs on 5 hits here. He's been pitching very well.
Delgadillo takes the first pitch. 1-0.
Only 1 hit. The rest he's retired by way of strikeout or flyout, a couple of groundouts in the 3rd inning. But he's going right at these batters. He's not shying away, and he looks good.
Delgadillo cracks one over to second base. Will Pickett's over to first to get Delgadillo by a step. He's now 0 for 3. A quick inning for David Appleby. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. He added his first strikeout. 2-1 in favor of the Riptide. We're through 3.5 here in the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Sam Shaken.
New pitcher on the hill, replacing Jack Noble. Corey Dawson from Westmont University. His first test is the righty. Sam Shaken, first pitch. Shaken takes it down and away, 1-0. Dawson on the year has pitched 7 1/3 innings pitched. His ERA is pretty good, 2.46. And he's also struck out 8 batters. Next pitch on the inside corner, 1-1 to Sam Shaken. Jack Noble's final line, 3 innings, 5 hits, a run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. The only run given up was the Brandon Lewis home run to right center field. A curveball to Shaken just misses, 2-1.
I'm surprised that pitch was called a ball because it seemed like it was on that inside corner that's been called all day long. That was a nice pitch. I'm surprised Shaken even had their strength to take it.
2-1 Shaken, lifts one shallow in foul territory. The third baseman, Soika, makes a running grab for the first out of the inning. Shaken not pleased with himself. He's now 0 for 2.
Just got under that one a little bit. Sam Shaken popped it up into foul territory. Soika actually got a bad jump on it, but there was enough hang on it to allow him to run up under it, and he made a nice catch, foul number 1.
Now Will Pickett's, whose average is not where he wants it to be right now. He is struggling to find a hit. Batting sub 100, and he lays down a beautiful bunt. That's one way to get a hit, Will. He's on first base with maybe the most beautiful bunt we've seen all season.
His second hit of the season, and now 30 plate appearances, but wow, what a way to get on base. The entire Oaks dugout was laughing. I don't know if that was a sign or if he just put it down, but if you're struggling to get hits, there may have to be other ways to get on base, and Pickett's has been a master at walking, getting hit by pitches, which I don't know if you want to be a master at, but right there, a dead fish bunt halfway down the line had the entire OC Riptide team off balance, and the Oaks get a base runner on in a very unorthodox way.
And you never know what can propel you out of your slump. It could be that bump base hit. First pitch to Michael Tillman, he fouls it right back to the screen, 0-1. And you love to see that mentality from Will Pickett's, trying to do whatever he can to get on base, and that's why his on-base percentage is still in a good spot. You know, 250, despite only hitting 36, is really good. Pickett's takes off. The next pitch is fouled down the left field line, 0-2.
Yeah, hit and run right there. The Oaks don't like to hit into double plays, so oftentimes third base coach Brian Wilson will put on the hit and run sign with one out and runner on first. Tillman just couldn't find the space in the field to get Pickett's over.
Michael Tillman hitting 200 on the season, a .321 on-base percentage. No home runs quite yet. Next pitch, swung and fouled off. Behind the plate, off the catcher's mitt. Still 0-2. Tillman tied for the lead with 7 walks on the season. He's tied with Bart West. Has also added 5 RBIs. Pickett's gets a pretty good lead over at first base. Dawson checks and fires a fastball thrown right by Tillman. He strikes out swinging. The first strikeout of the game for the new pitcher, Corey Dawson.
Great pitch, high fastball, and on a 1-2 count, when you're protecting as a batter, you see a fastball relatively in the zone, and your first thought is, I'm going to swing at it. Well, that ball was upstairs. Tillman couldn't get a handle on it. Great pitch from the southpaw on the mound.
First pitch to Bryce Vitt, a half-hearted swing over to third base. The third baseman, Soika, over to Steve Curry, covering second base for the final out of the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner stranded on base. We're through 4 full innings, 2-1 in favor of the Riptide. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Luke Bandy steps in as David Appleby regains the hill. And Bandy has a base hit, a walk, and 2 plate appearances. First pitch from Appleby. Spikes it in the dirt, 1-0. Bandy actually reached on an infield base hit. And then advanced all the way to third base on 2 wild pitches. Next pitch spiked again. 2-0. The 1-1 pitch. Appleby pulls another one to the screen. 3-0.
It says 2-1 up on the board, but it is 3-0. 3 pitches straight down into the ground. Appleby, who's been pitching very well so far, just couldn't get a handle on the first 3 pitches in this appearance.
3-0 pitch inside, ball 4. And Appleby clearly something was a little bit off in that at bat. So Bandy reaches base for the 3rd time today. He also scored a run back in the first inning.
Second baseman number 7.
He walked
Steve
in the second.
Curry.
He was the 3rd and final walk for Holcomb before he was pulled out. And this man right here, Steve Curry, was the first batter David Appleby faced. So Appleby has to try to get him out once again, this time with a runner on first.
Steve Curry, 0 for 2, a strikeout, a flyout. The throw to first gets past Brandon Lewis, and Bandy advances to second. Now he rounds second, attempts to go to third, decides better of it, and retreats back to second base. He advances on the error on the throw from David Appleby.
Yeah, that would be an error on David Appleby, and it's hard because you have to pick off, or attempt to pick off, as head coach Dave Sleeze strides out to the mound, attempt to pick off the first baseman, and when you're off balance, or the runner on first base, but when you're off balance like that, like Appleby was, you're going to miss your target, which was Brandon Lewis, went over his head, and that was an easy opportunity for Bandy to reach second base. And once again, early in the inning, the Riptide have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, nobody's warming up in the Oaks bullpen as we speak. So Lee's Bryce Vitt and Appleby still conjuring on the mound as the home plate umpire has seen enough. Strolls out there to break up the party. So Bandy has been very active on the base paths. We mentioned he advanced on 2 wild pitches back in the first inning. Advanced to second right there on an error. And the meeting is broken up. And now Steve Curry will step right back in there. Appleby adjusts his cap. Gets his sign from Vitt. Small lead over at second base from Bandy. Appleby a deep breath. A check of the runner, and here's the pitch. Just off the outside corner, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Steve Curry. Fastball on the ground over to third baseman. Tanner Wright looks back the runner. Now he's going to throw to second. Now there's a pickle. Tanner Wright dives and gets the runner out at second base on the tag. A heads-up play from Tanner Wright. And the Oaks adjust mid-play after probably not the wisest decision to go after that runner. And they get away with it. They get an out.
It was a 5-6-5 put out in the books. Tanner Wright tried getting the leadoff runner out. You almost never see the third baseman go back to second base on the sure out, but he really didn't want to allow a runner to be over at third base, and he made a play, and head coach Sleece is talking to him now, just making sure he's okay, maybe saying, scaring us a little bit. Next time, maybe make the sure out, but Tanner Wright sacrificing his body for the greater good of his team. That was a pretty intricate play by him, and a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Absolutely. I can't even tell you how to score that one at home. So many throws. Maybe Jonathan has you. I know he's good at that.
5-6-5, and then if you want to write a little dive, which I don't think Bob Carpenter has invented yet. Of course, Bob Carpenter, the fan broadcaster who is known for his scorebooks. I don't think he's shown how you could score a player diving to get a runner out, but maybe we'll come up with something and make it official.
Now runner on first for Austin Soika. First pitch spiked in the dirt, comes back to the screen, and Curry advances to second base, so I guess no harm done for the Riptide as they get a runner right back in scoring position.
You would have the out anyways, assuming Wright made that play to first easily, but yeah, I mean, Appleby kind of just negated that great play by Tanner Wright with a pitch in the dirt, his fourth of the inning. Only two batters, or actually not his third batter, but he's had trouble locating the zone here in this inning.
1 ball, no strikes to Soika. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI base hit. Fastball catches the inside corner. Count even at 1. As we have talked about, Soika, one of the most productive, if not the most productive hitter in this Riptide lineup. Hitting .356 before today. 1-1 pitch. Inside corner again, 2-1. Soika can't believe it. But he better, because, I mean, that call, even if it has been wrong, has been consistent the whole game. And as a hitter, that's really all you can ask for. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right here, a spot he's not unaccustomed to producing.
1-2 pitch, swung on a missed off speed in the dirt from Appleby. Soika's retired for the first time today, the second strikeout for David Appleby, and the new hitter will be Chase Sebi from Ball State University.
Nice pitch there from Appleby, kept the fastball low, had Soika out over it, and Appleby trying to make amends for the first 2 batters that he kind of struggled finding the zone to. But Chase Sebi won't make it easy here. He already has an RBI single in this ball game, and I'm sure he's hungry for another one.
Chase Sebi only 1 RBI this year, but in 7 games played, he's hitting .348. First pitch to Sebi, a ground ball over to Tanner Wright. The third baseman fires over to Lewis at first. The Oaks escape the half inning. No runs on no hits, an error, and 1 man left on base. We're through 4.5 innings, 2-1 in favor of the visiting Riptide. The Oaks back up to the plate when we come back right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Tanner Wright, who made the final out in the top half of the inning, steps in, 1 for 1 with a base hit to left field. Trying to get on board again. Shows bunt. Called a strike. 0-1 on the 69 miles an hour. Curveball from Corey Dawson. Dawson came in last inning. Surrendered 1 hit. It was a bunt, though, as he throws another curveball in the outside corner, 0-2. Gave up the bunt base hit to Pickett's, but other than that, he was very good. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed from right. Sebi made the play. He actually caught it behind the plate. Tanner Wright didn't think he did, hustled over to first base, but either way, the second strikeout for Sebi of the day, and Tanner Wright is retired. Michael, sorry, Jonathan, go ahead.
How about only the third strikeout of the season for Tanner Wright in over 40 plate appearances? It's a shame that he struck out there if you're an Oaks fan, but he's been very good all season long.
Michael Spears takes an off-speed pitch on the inside corner, 0-1. Turns back to the umpire to ask for clarification on the zone.
Yeah, but that curveball has been hitting the bottom part of the zone all game long. It's been consistent.
0-1 lined into left field for a base hit for Spears. His second hit of the day. He's now 2 for 3.
He's continuing on the 3-hit performance he had yesterday. He went 3 for 5. There's a reason he's leading off right now for the Oaks. The Oaks need to get a sure base runner on. Michael Spears has been feeling it the last 4 games, and he's continuing to produce at a high level for the Oaks.
Brandon Lewis now digging in, having himself quite the afternoon. A home run in the first inning, walked in the third inning. Was later thrown out at third base. First pitch to Lewis, swinging a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Spears hustling over to third base. Will he be there? Yes, he will. He slides in heads first, and he is safe. Runners at the corners now for Elijah Alexander.
This is a big spot for the Oaks. They have 8 hits, but only 1 run to show for it. They have to find a way to contribute to finally produce runs. They've left 4 runners on base. And now a big opportunity with Elijah Alexander to finally tie up this game with only 1 out.
Alexander's job is to get that runner from third base in, but I wouldn't mind seeing more damage either. First pitch, a curveball outside corner, called a strike, 0-1. So Brandon Lewis now 2 for 2, stands on first base. Michael Spears 2 for 3 on third base. The next pitch from Dawson on its way. Alexander began to go, but he holds up as the ball was low and away, 1-1.
This is turning into a battle between these two teams. It's been close, it's been fun. We'll see who wins out. A double play situation here for the Riptide can get them out of the inning.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Spears is caught off third base, and he's nabbed. What a play by Chase Sebi behind the plate, pump faking the throw, trying to get Brandon Lewis at second. Then he decides better. He throws over to Soika at third. He applies the quick tag, and Spears is caught looking over at third base. An unexcusable out for the Conejo Oaks, but certainly a heads-up play by Chase Sebi. Next pitch into Alexander. He fights it off. A dribble over to the right side near the Riptide dugout, and the count remains 1-2.
Yeah, that was just an unbelievable play by Sebi. Maybe the smartest play we've seen from a catcher all season long. We've seen some phenomenal plays from behind the dish. Right there, though, trying to eliminate that threat, though the Oaks still have that tying runner in scoring position. If Elijah Alexander can work his way out of this count, that could be good news.
1-2 to Alexander. Takes an off-speed pitch, low and away in the dirt. Count even now at 2. So now 1 on, 2 outs, a 2-2 count, 2 runs, 4 hits for the visiting Riptide, 1 run on 8 hits for the Oaks. They've also added an error. Dawson peers in for a long while, now steps off.
With Chase Cockrell looming on deck, the Oaks really want to keep this inning alive because he would be put in a position, depending on what happens in this at-bat, to maybe tie up this ball game.
The 2-2 pitch, fouled off on a dribbler to the right side. The count remains 2-2, and Alexander keeps fighting. Elijah, who had a chance to hit for the cycle yesterday in his final at-bat, now steps in for the 2-2 pitch. Curveball a little bit upstairs. Alexander may have gotten away with one. Hard to tell from up here. The count is full.
It looked like it could have gone either way, and with that strike zone today, it looked like it should have been called a strike, but benefit of the doubt to the umpire no matter what, because they know better than us.
The 3-2 pitch, ground ball to the right side, through for a base hit. Here comes Brandon Lewis, mishandled by the right fielder, Delgadillo, And Lewis scores on an RBI base hit with 2 outs for Elijah Alexander. He also advances to second base on the error by the right fielder Delgadillo. A clutch 2-out knock for the lefty Alexander.
Wow. Elijah Alexander showing you why he was an incredible product out of Ventura College and now at University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. He knows how to hit the ball. It doesn't have to be very hard. It just has to be somewhere where a fielder is not able to get it, and that's exactly what he did. He was down in the count. He worked his way back, saw a pitch he liked, and just sliced it right into shallow right field. Enough for Brandon Lewis to score and for him to advance to second base.
So now Chase Cockerell will have a chance to hit with a runner in scoring position. We all know that's always dangerous. He's 1 for 2, a ground out and a base hit. Takes a first pitch curveball in there at the knees, 0-1. So 3 consecutive hits, 3 consecutive base hits for the Conejo Oaks. Only 1 run produced, though. Alexander at second base, the 0-1 pitch, ground ball over to the left side. Third baseman Soika fields it on a tough hop, fires over to first base to McWhorter to end the threat. 1 run on 3 hits and error, and a runner stranded, but the Oaks tie the game. 2-2 is the score. We're through 5 full innings from George Sparky Anderson Field. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Oaks Baseball on Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
For Mason McWhorter.
The first baseman, Mason McWhorter, steps in. David Appleby on the hill again. He has yet to surrender a run. First pitch to McWhorter, a little bit low, 1-0. Appleby came in and relieved Kevin Holcomb back in the second inning. Got it out. In the first batter he faced, the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip back to the screen, 1-1. And since Holcomb came out of the game after 1 2/3 innings, Appleby has held down the fort. He's been so good. A little bit wild, but still effective. The 1-1 pitch, down and in, 2-1. In fact, Appleby has 3 walks. 2-1 to McWhorter. Leads the team with 3 home runs, and he fouls a pitch back to the screen, 2-2. McWhorter plays his collegiate ball at Georgia Southern University. Digs in for the 2-2 offering. Fastball lined out of play. 2-2 again.
And you know what's different in this outing for Appleby versus previous outings? He's going right at these batters. He's given up a couple of hits, but he hasn't been shaken up by them. He's walked a couple of guys. He hasn't been shaken up by them. His composure is stellar.
2-2 spiked in the dirt. Good block behind the plate by Vitt. Full count. A reiteration of your infield, Brandon Lewis, the first baseman, Pickett's the second baseman. Shaking the shortstop, Tanner Wright, making his Oaks debut at third base. As Appleby peers in for the full count pitch on its way. Low, ball 4. McWhorter reaches base for the first time this afternoon. On the walk from Appleby, his 4th of the day. Just to finish off the defensive look for the Oaks, Chase Cockrell out in left field. Elijah Alexander, center field. Michael Spears out in right field. Daniel Hawkins, the new hitter. A walk and a ground out today. Appleby checks the runner, now delivers. The pitch lined into center field, has a chance to get in the gap. Alexander cuts it off, but the runner will go from first to third with nobody outs. McWhorter advances to third, and Hawkins checks in with his first hit of the day. A line shot to right center field.
Nice hit right there from Hawkins. Got all of that fastball, found the gap. He couldn't reach second base himself, but it was enough to get his base running partner around, and that's all that matters. The lead now 90 feet away at third base in the form of Mason McWhorter.
Runners at the corners, nobody out. The new hitter, Bradley Yelich. First pitch, outside corner, called a strike. Yelich goes to the University of Pacific. That means he's teammates with the Oaks outfielder and third baseman Tyler Ryan,
who has played second base once as well this season.
All right. Infielder and outfielder.
Multi-faceted fielder.
0-1 pitch to Yelich. In the dirt, good block from Vitt. Saved a run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Appleby.
Sorry,
Jordan. A little bit erratic. Most of his pitches that he's missed have been bouncing in the dirt. And I think it's just overextension, as the Oaks do have, looks like Jerry Ramirez warming up in the bullpen. It is. But he's been able to readjust. But right now I think it is catching up to him, and the Riptide are picking up on that fact.
Here's the 1-1 offering. Down in the dirt again. Vitt doing a great job protecting. And the count is 2-1. Temperatures are falling, as they normally do around this hour, as we approach 7 o'clock on the West Coast. The 2-1 pitch. Lined out of play on a good pitch from Appleby. A well-located fastball in the outer half. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And if he can get a strikeout here, or perhaps a short pop-out, to try and stop McWhorter from scoring, to keep this tie in hand, that I think will settle him a little bit, because then you have a double play ball available, or an opportunity, I should say, with the number 9 here, Paul Gomez, waiting on deck.
McWhorter at third. The next pitch lifted into foul territory in left field. No, it drops for a hit. Down in left field, the runner will score. The throw at second is not in time. Coming in to score, Mason McWhorter. And the Riptide regain the lead 3-2. Runners now at first and second on back-to-back base hits from Hawkins and Yelich.
Wow. It looked like it was curving into foul territory. It may have picked up the jet stream a little bit, that wind blowing out to right.
I think that's exactly what happened. That looked to be about 10 yards foul. And then all of a sudden it drops in for a hit.
And Tanner Wright thought it was foul too. He was running in foul territory, and all of a sudden that ball drops about 2 feet right of that foul line. Great location. Probably a little bit lucky, but still great location from Bradley Yelich. And just like that, the lead in hand now.
Paul Gomez shows bunt. It's fouled off the plate. 0-1. Trying to move the runners to second and third. Still nobody out in the inning. And Ramirez ramping up his work in the Oaks bullpen.
The Oaks want his curveball out there. He's been very effective with it this season. And right now, Appleby, who had a very good first 2 innings in this appearance, has been disheveled a little bit by the Orange County Riptide.
So 0-1, Appleby, a deep breath. Checks the runner over at second, kicks and fires. Curveball, line shot to left field, but foul into the Oaks bullpen. Good backhand play by Ramirez. But he's in foul territory and warming up. The count is 0-2. Gomez just a little bit out in front of that one, but very solid contact and a loud sound off the bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Appleby lines and offers. A base hit through the left side. Hawkins rounds third, but he will be held at third base, and now the base is loaded on 3 consecutive base hits. And let's see if this will do it for Appleby. Coach DeLees staying in the dugout, giving Appleby another chance. As Hawkins heads over to third, Yekic over to second.
And now Solis coming out of the bullpen. He's going to have a conversation. He acts as the pitching coach. The Oaks don't have an official pitching coach. They used to have Coach Hernandez, who was the pitching coach at Oxnard College, but he retired 2 years ago. And Dave Solis, who originally was the pitching coach for this organization as Jeremy Ramirez will come in, has taken over both the head coach and the pitching coach duties. Double duty here for him, and he's been very good, but right now, I think it's time for Jerry Ramirez to come in.
Yeah, Jerry Ramirez will give you information about him and Appleby's final line. The bases are juiced, nobody out. 3-2 ball game with the Riptide leading the Oaks. We'll be right back here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We're back here in the top of the 6th inning. The Riptide regained the lead off of David Appleby. His final line, 3 1/3, 4 hits, a run. It was earned, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. But he's on the hook for the runners on base now if they score. Jerry Ramirez will enter the game trying to get out of this inning.
Fielder number 32.
Ramirez on the season has pitched 12 1/3 innings. He has an ERA just above 8 at 8.03, and he also has 7 strikeouts. The new hitter is Thomas Delgadillo, the right fielder from Fullerton College. 2 strikeouts and a ground out today, but he has been one of their best hitters all season long. First pitch from Ramirez. Fastball, ground ball over to Pickett's. On the short hop, throw over to Shaken. They'll only get 1 play. The throw back to third. Tanner Wright makes a nice pick. But a run will score, and the score is now 4-2. That was Daniel Hawkins who scored from third base. Yekic over to third base. Gomez out at second base. And Thomas Delgadillo reaches first base on the fielder's choice.
No matter how you get that run, doesn't matter as long as it's up on the board and right there, an insurance run for the Orange County Riptide.
And that will be the second run charged to Appleby as the first pitch is on the outer half, 0-1. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Ramirez sets, peers in, and here is the delivery. A ground ball through the left side, a base hit from Luke Bandy. Coming in to score, Bradley Yekic, and the Riptide extend their lead to 5-2.
How about Luke Bandy on base for his 4th time of the ball game? 2 singles, 2 for 2, 2 walks, a run scored, and an RBI now. Have a day, the DBU product. He's been lights out so far, and a big reason why this Orange County Riptide team is up in the game.
The fourth hit and third run of the inning. First pitch into Steve Curry. Ground ball, but it's foul, 0-1. Curry, a strikeout in the first, a flyout in the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth. And Luke Bandy, with his second hit of the day, standing over at first base, also has walked twice. He has perhaps been the best offensive player for the Riptide today. Ramirez checks the runner at second, sets and offers a curveball. He hung it. And it travels over the head of Curry. 1 ball and 1 strike. Still only 1 out in the inning. 5 runs on 8 hits in error for the Riptide. 2 runs, 9 hits in error for the Oaks. Ramirez offers the 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. Curveball at 69 miles an hour. A ball and 2 strikes now.
Nice pitch there from Jerry, keeping that curveball low, hitting the zone, but if it's hit, odds are that's down on the ground or popped up shallow, and that's what you want to do with runners on and 1 away.
Ramirez peers in. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Ramirez gets a strikeout, his first of the day. And now 2 outs in the inning with runners on first and second.
Third baseman number 30, Austin Soika.
Austin Soika, the next hitter. He's also been quite impressive at the plate. 2 base hits today. He added an RBI in the first inning. And he also struck out in the 5th inning. Ramirez, a long look in to fit his catcher. Now they're on the same page. Here's the pitch. Up and in, 1-0. And now we see action ramping up in the Riptide bullpen. Couple of arms starting to heat up. The 1-0 pitch, Ramirez taking his time. Here's the offering. Swung on a miss on the fastball low, 1-1. If the inning permits, Chase Sebi is on deck, the catcher. But first, the 1-1 pitch from Ramirez to Soika. Ramirez checks the runner, rocks and fires. 1-2, 1-1 turns into the 1-2 on the swing and the miss on the 87-mile-an-hour heater on the outer half. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez offers. Curveball, he bounced it. Runners will advance to second and third. And now runners in scoring position with 2 outs and a 2-2 count. Bandy over to second base. Delgadillo over to third base. Ramirez rocks and fires. On a foul ball back into the parking lot. We'll do 2-2 again. The Oaks fought back in the bottom half of the 5th inning to tie this ball game up at 2. And the Riptide have responded with a 3 spot here in the 6th to take a 5-2 lead. The 2-2 pitch from Jerry Ramirez. Kicks and fires. Fastball is drilled down the left field line, down for a hit. Delgadillo scores, and Bandy also scores. Soika over to second base on the 2 RBI double down the left field line. And the hits keep on coming. Now 5 runs in the inning and a commanding 7-2 lead for the Orange County Riptide.
Yep, now everybody who's scored, with the exception of Delgadillo, has been a credit to Appleby. He ends his day now with 4 earned runs of the 5 this inning. Delgadillo, who scored, was the first batter that Ramirez faced, and so he gets an earned run to his game as well.
Chase Sebi digs in. Swings at the first pitch. A fly ball into shallow left field. Sam Shaken retrieves it for the third out of the inning. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and a runner left aboard. We are through 5.5 innings, 7-2 in favor of the Riptide. The Oaks will have a chance to make a comeback when we come back here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. New pitcher in for the bottom half of the 6th inning as Sam Shaken comes in to hit. The new pitcher, Daniel Zimmerman, a member of the University of Michigan Wolverines. He replaces Corey Dawson. Dawson's final line, 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. We'll get you Zimmerman's numbers in a moment, but first, the first pitch to Sam Shaken. A long wind in the delivery, a fastball inside, 1-0, clocking at 87 miles an hour. Zimmerman, 6 innings pitched this year, an ERA of 1.50, as well as 4 strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch, off speed at the knees, 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Oaks dugout did not like that call one bit. They started heckling the umpire after he called that a strike.
Shaken 0 for 2. Takes the next pitch in the dirt. Looked like an off-speed pitch. 2-1. No action in the Oaks bullpen. No action in the Riptide bullpen. Zimmerman peers in. Comes to set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Lifted high and deep down the left field line. Will it drop? It will, down the left field line. Shaken around first. He heads to second base with a stand-up double. Stay hot, Sam Shaken.
That was about 2 feet short of a home run. It just hit the very top part of that 325 sign out there on left. And there was no win. I think Shaken could have popped it out of here. Nonetheless, though, the Oaks have a leadoff runner on here in a much-needed situation because they have a little bit of a hill to climb with a 5-run deficit up on the board.
Will Pickett's 1 for 2 today. Reached on a bunt in the 4th inning. Shaken takes a sizable lead at second base. The first pitch to Pickett's inside, 1-0. And you're right, Jonathan. Right-handed hitters are not rewarded for home run swings here at Cal Lutheran.
Just doesn't happen. Brandon Lewis, who's a righty, hit one over the right field fence because he knows that it's almost impossible here to hit one over the left field fence.
1-0 to Pickett, swung on a miss on the elevated heater. A ball and a strike.
Maybe Pickett's regenerates that bunt that he had. Doesn't matter if he tries to get for a hit, but just a way to get shaken over to third if they can.
The second baseman Curry is playing awfully deep. A bunt there could result in a hit. Also the third baseman Soika playing pretty deep. 1-1 pitch showing bunt and low. Pickett's pulled his bat back in time. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Pickett's the same idea as us, Jonathan. Looking to get on board whatever way he can. That's what you got to do when you're trailing by 5 runs. Zimmerman sets, gets his sign from Sebi, checks the runner and offers. Ground ball over to shortstop. Gomez fields over to first in time, but shaken over to third base on the ground out.
Bunt would have done the same thing, so Pickett goes down, advancing that runner into scoring position over at third from second, but 5-run deficit with 1 away. The Oaks have to find a way to string some hits together because we're hitting the latter part of this ball game. The Oaks have proven to be a second-half team, but with a 5-run deficit, the more runs they can push across, the better, because it's still a mountain to climb.
Michael Tillman digs in, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Shaken off of third base, Zimmerman gets his sign, kicks and offers. Fastball inside, the throw back to third base, shaken back safely. And Sebi has been very aggressive as a catcher behind the plate, trying to find outs where he can on the base paths. So the count is 1-0. Outfield pretty straight away, same with the infield. Zimmerman kicks and fires. Off speed, in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Oaks have connected for 10 hits today, but still only able to produce 2 runs. 1-1 offering. Swinging a foul tip on the curveball low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And for the second consecutive game, the Oaks have hit into double digits. That's a streak that is just starting. Before yesterday, they only hit into double digits 3 times all season through the first 18 games. But now back-to-back double-digit games. That's good, but you have to score runs. All that matters at the end of the day is the final score. It doesn't matter how many hits you get. The 2 runs are looming.
1-2, swing and a miss. Tillman down for his 3rd time today, his 3rd strikeout of the day. That adds to his season total, which I will get for you in just a second.
I believe he has 18 now. He had 15 coming into the game, and he's been striking out 3 times, which the hat trick to him, and he now leads the team in strikeouts. Bart West behind him with 16.
And that was Zimmerman's first strikeout of the day. Bryce Vitt steps in, 1 for 2, a base hit and a ground out. He was thrown out trying to score in the 2nd inning. That first pitch, low, 1-0. Zimmerman takes his time, now back on the hill. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball, strike 1. 1-1.
The Oaks have not been swinging at breaking pitches today. Most of the pitches that they've swung at and hit successfully have been fastballs. I think you have to start swinging at some of these curveballs because most of them are hitting the strike zone, and they're hanging. That was a pitch right down the middle that Vitt just took.
Curveball lifted out of play towards the parking lot. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yesterday was a great day for the Caneo Oaks, traveling up to San Luis Obispo and coming back with a 6-1 victory. We saw a great performance on the mound from Oaks starter Brandon Ponticelli. He was featured as our Oaks player of the game yesterday. 1-2 pitch, lifted again, high towards the right side and into the parking lot it goes. 1-2.
Yeah, Ponticelli had that 7 strikeout performance yesterday in 6 innings pitched. The Oaks couldn't recreate it with Holcomb, who only went an inning and 2/3. David Appleby, currently the pitcher of record. The score holds, he would get the loss. Went 3 1/3, so he went a decent amount of innings in relief, but the Oaks exhausting their arms, and you know they're going to need some long relief pitchers tomorrow in game number 2 of the series.
1-2. Fastball lifted back right towards us. Count stays 1-2. And after that win yesterday, the Oaks endured a 3-hour bus ride back to Thousand Oaks, which included a stop at In-N-Out Burger.
And 3 hours of endless singing from the guys in the back of the bus. It was almost like karaoke night. They were amped.
How could they not be? It was a big win. 1-2. A line shot into center field, drops for a base hit. Shaken comes around to score. Bryce Vitt checks in his 2nd hit of the day, and it was a good one. A liner to center field for an RBI base hit. The Oaks now trail 7-3.
The third baseman, number 1.
Big RBI there. The Oaks have had a history of making comebacks late in games, and it all starts with the 6th inning. They have to find a way to produce runs when they get runners on base. Sam Shaken led off with a double, and right there, Vitt was able to finally drive him in with 2 away.
Tanner Wright, the new hitter, 1 for 2, a base hit and a strikeout. First pitch, swing and a miss. 86 on the gun. Jack Noble started this game off for the Orange County Riptide. He went 3 innings of 1-run baseball. As the 0-1 pitch comes in there, Athens called a strike, 0-2. Corey Dawson came in, relieved him. Went 2 innings, gave up 1 run. And now Daniel Zimmerman on the hill. The 0-2 pitch to Tanner Wright. The Cal Lutheran third baseman takes a fastball clocking at 90 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And only 2 strikeouts coming into this game. He's struck out once, but 1 strike away from once again striking out. The last thing the Oaks need is for their best contact hitter to go down swinging once again.
Absolutely. The 1-2 pitch, just a bit outside, 2-2.
And Chase Sebi behind the disc tried to do his best impression of what Bryce Vitt and Zach Kamiko have been doing for the Oaks all season long. Framing pitches, he brought that pitch back into the zone and tried to get the umpire to bite, but the home plate umpire called the ball, which was the right call to make.
Already 2 hours and 13 minutes into this ball game. 2-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch, Tanner Wright. Did he go? No, he did not, says the first base umpire. The count is now full, and Michael Spears is on deck.
Tanner Wright has worked his way back into this count. Patience, patience, patience. That's the key right now for the Oaks. Wait for the pitch for you to hit.
The full count delivery from Zimmerman. Runner goes, but Wright fouls one off towards the Oaks dugout. 3-2 again. 11 hits for the Oaks, only 3 runs to show for it. And that stat, the runners left on base stat, has been haunting the Oaks all year.
They've left 5 so far today. The Riptide, though, have left 7. Think about how many more runs they could have mustered with their 9 hits.
And that number 5 is so low because the Oaks have been nabbed on the base path so often. The full count pitch, runner goes, ground ball to the right side, fielded by the first baseman McWhorter. Pitch over to Zimmerman, he tags first base to end the inning. The Oaks strand another run, their 6th of the ball game. No runs on, 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and a runner left on base. 7-3 in favor of the Riptide. The Oaks get one back, but they still trail by 4. We'll be back for the 7th inning after this. You're watching Oaks Baseball, Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. 7-3 is the score. We're at the top of the 7th inning in this matchup between the Riptide and the Oaks. And for play-by-play for the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, my wonderful broadcasting partner, Jonathan Rifkin.
And to my impeccable broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, a great job for those middle 3 innings of play-by-play. As you mentioned, the Oaks trailing 7-3. Stepping in here is Mason McWhorter as he swings and misses for strike 1. The Riptide went through their order all 9 yet in the last inning as Jerry Mears is back out there and balances a pitch in the dirt, 1-1 the count. McWhorter, though, 0 for 2. A walk, a run scored. He scored the first run of the 6th inning, a big 5-run inning for the Riptide. Other than that, he's grounded out to short and a second in his 2 other at-bats. Ramirez has given up 2 hits and a run so far in the ballgame. He also has a strikeout. Third Oaks pitcher of the ballgame offers the 1-1 upstairs, ball 2. 3 runs on 11 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Riptide. The biggest difference has been the walks. 7 walks, only 1. 2-1 pitch. A curveball missing up in the zone. 3-1 the count. The Oaks have Angus Denton striding out to the bullpen to begin his warm-up opportunities. 3-1 pitch, swung on a missed. Strike 2. High fastball gets Warder hacking. Full count now. This is a first of a home-and-home between these two teams. The Oaks will be headed to Fullerton College tomorrow. Payoff pitch. Cracked down the line, but foul. We'll do it again. 4:30 start time for that one. 4:15 will be our pregame show. And then on Saturday, the Oaks open up a 2-game homestand against the Pacific Union Capitalists. Both those games right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting. 4:30 on Saturday, 12 on Sunday. 3-2 pitch popped up out of play into the softball field once again. And McWhorter is fighting off some tough pitches, though Ramirez has worked his way back into the count when he was down 3-1. Payoff pitch 2.0 pending here. Toes the rubber, gloves that ball, takes a breath, peers and fires. 3-2. Cracked over to first. Lewis underhands it to Ramirez covering, and the 3-1 put out puts out number 1 up on the board here in the top of the 7th inning. One away in a 7-3 ball game.
Designated hitter number 17, Daniel Hawkins.
And for the Riptide, as Daniel Hawkins steps in, he's 1 for 2 today, a single, a run scored, a ground out, and a walk. They're headed by Jason Smith in his first year with the Riptide. He's been with the team since 2015, but he wasn't the head coach last year. This is his second stint as the head coach, but last year Tiger Peterson, as a curveball is in there for strike 1 to Hawkins. Jock Peterson's older brother was the head coach of the Orange County Riptide. He's also an assistant coach at Hawaii Pacific University. But he was picked up by a team in the Northwoods League, and he currently coaches there. 0-1 pitch, a strike on the inside corner, another curveball, strike 2. But Jason Smith has done a great job. He won a Division III national championship in '97 and 2001 when he was a coach at Chapman University. He's been in the game for quite a long time at all levels. 0-2 pitch, misses upstairs, ball 1. He's coached players selected in the MLB draft like Andrew Tisdale on the Rangers, Shane Carrier on the Twins, and Jeff Bilston on the Astros. 1-2 pitch here from Ramirez. High to left field, going back, making the dive, but can't make the catch as Cockrell. Rounding first, going to second is Hawkins. That ball goes back to the wall. Hawkins will try to leg out a triple. No, he'll put on the brakes about a quarter way down the line. And that is a big stand-up double for Daniel Hawkins, his second hit of the ball game. The Riptide have a runner in scoring position with 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning.
As if Chase Cockrell won't be on Sports Center enough, he tried to make a top play there. Wasn't in the books, though. Good effort out in left field, though. Always like to see that, even in a game that is not that close.
That'll bring up Bradley Yekic now. 1 for 2 today, a walk, an RBI single, a run scored, and a flyout in his 3 at-bats. Pacific Tiger steps in and takes the first pitch low for ball 1. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Riptide. 3 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Oaks. Ramirez comes set to the southpaw and offers the 1-0. Cracked over to first. Lewis lets it go under his glove into right field. Rounding third and coming to home is Hawkins. And we'll see here, Brandon Lewis is given an error. He brought his glove up, but there was no ball in it. It's an 8-3 lead right now, and they call that an error on Brandon Lewis. His first at first base, his third of the season, and a costly one. Extends the lead to 5 now. Runner on first, 8-3 to score in the top of the 7th inning.
That was a tough play over at first base, but one you have to make if you want to play at the next level.
Lewis, normally a third baseman, not unused to ground balls, so that was kind of peculiar that he missed that. Paul Gomez stepping in now, 1 for 2. Skies that one to right field. Spears backpedaling towards it, makes the catch, and Hawkins won't test him as he goes back to first base. Out number 2 up on the board now. That run was unearned, by the way, because it came around by way of the error. And for these two teams, this is the first of 4 times they'll play against each other. There'll be another home and home. The Oaks head back to Fullerton College after tomorrow, next on July 14th. And then they'll host the Riptide in the final game of the series on July 15th as a Saturday and Sunday matchup. Stepping in now, Thomas Delgadillo as Ramirez steps off. Delgadillo out of the leadoff spot is 0 for 4. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th and came around to score. 2 strikeouts and another ground out to his total. 0-0 pitch, swung and a miss for strike 1. Seemed like he was off balance there. The Oaks still have Angus Denton warming up in the pen. Throwing some warm-up tosses to Zach Hamanko, the UNLV catcher. 0-1 pitch, slapped foul right down over the plate. 0-2 the count now. Delgadillo is behind in the count. Ramirez eager to get out of this inning.
And he's one quality pitch away from doing so. It's been a good frame for him so far.
1 on, 0-2 count, 2 away. Ramirez looks determined out there on the mound. Maybe look for a curveball because he has some balls to work with. Toes the rubber, Pearson fires. No, he's going to step off once again. I think that he thought that Jakic over at first may go. Jakic has been dancing on the first base line, and Jerry's been paying a little bit of attention to him. Offers the 0-2 now. A fastball swung on a missed for strike 3. Ramirez's second strikeout of the ball game, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. It's time to stretch. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Check that, 1 error on Brandon Lewis and 1 left on base. Bottom of the 7th after the stretch. Hope you enjoy it. Get up, stretch, do whatever you need to do to settle in because we have the bottom of the 7th, the 8th, and 9th coming up. Riptide lead 8-3 on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Michael Spears leads things off here for the Oaks in the bottom of the 7th inning. I hope you enjoyed the stretch. 8-3 the score. As the sun begins to set, the shadows begin to grow long on the field. And Daniel Zimmerman is still on the mound. The first pitch to Spears is upstairs for ball 1. Spears is 2 for 3 today. A pair of singles and a flyout. He was out at third base though on a back pick throw from Sebi over to Soika. It was a phenomenal play that got the speedy Ole Miss runner out. Zimmerman comes set, offers the 1-0. Low and away, 2-0 the count. Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday evening now. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Thursday plans. 2-0 offering here from Zimmerman. He deals. One hopper over to second. It's mishandled by Curry. He regains it. The throw over to first is in time. And that was quite a play. He tried to short hop it, couldn't get it, but the ball didn't go far. And Curry was able to regather himself and throw Spears out for out number 1.
The first baseman, number 23, Brandon Lewis.
That'll bring up Brandon Lewis, dubbed B-Lou by his teammates. He's been on base all 3 times he's been up today after a 1-for-5 game yesterday that saw him strike out 4 times. A home run, a walk, and a single with a stolen base to his day today. The power hitter from Irvine stepping in here as Zimmerman comes set at the belt. The 0-0. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Reiteration of the Riptide field for you here. Thomas Delgadillo in right, Luke Bandy in center, Bradley Yekic in left, Mason McWhorter at first, Steve Curry at second, Paul Gomez at short, Austin Soika at third, and Chase Sebi behind the dish. 0-1 pitch from Zimmerman. Called a strike at the knees. 0-2 the count now to Lewis. Brandon Lewis in his second stint with the Caneo Oaks. Batted just under 300 last year, but led the team in home runs with 8. He has 3 so far this season. Zimmerman comes set, toes the rubber, offers the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Brandon Lewis on 3 pitches, and that puts out number 2 up on the board. The second strikeout of the ball game for Daniel Zimmerman. The Oaks have now been retired 6 times via the strikeout.
Center fielder, number 19, Elijah Alexander.
That'll bring up Elijah Alexander. Had a big RBI single back in the 5th. Reached second base on an error by the right fielder Delgadillo. He's also only 1 for 3, a flyout and a strikeout in his other 2 at-bats. Zimmerman offers the first pitch to the southpaw, cracked back to the mound on the 1 hopper. Zimmerman fields it, underhands it over to McWhorter at first base easily for out number 3. The Oaks go down very quietly in the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base in a 1-2-3 frame. We're through 7 full here from George Sparky Anderson Field. The Riptide lead the Oaks by a score of 8-3 right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Luke Bandy, who's been perhaps the most effective offensive player for the Riptide today, steps in here to lead off the top of the 8th inning. His team up 8-3. The Arkansas pitcher, Angus Denton, takes the helm here in place of Jerry Ramirez. I'll give you his line here in a moment as the first pitch to Bandy is cracked over to short. Shaken fields it over to first for out number 1. Easy 6-3 put out. Sorry, Jordan, to begin the inning. Go ahead.
Shaken just made that play look so easy. It was not a good hop. It actually took a weird last hop, but Shaken, with his abilities and his hand-eye coordination, able to nab it and fire a good throw over to first in time for the first out.
Jerry Ramirez went 2 innings, gave 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, no walks, and a strikeout.
From Columbia, number 8.
New hitter, Josh Nikoloff from Columbia University. A returner for this team comes in place of Steve Curry, who went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, a fly out, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Nikoloff just finished off his sophomore year at Columbia, takes a strike at the knees. On the season for Angus Denton, on the mound, this is his 8th appearance. He has a 1-1 record. He is 1 for 1 in saves, a 1.86 ERA, a .83 WHIP, which leads the team. In just over 9 innings pitched, 0-1 pitch over to third, right over to first in time for out number 2. Beautiful short hop from right, dealt for out number 2. That'll bring up Austin Soika in the cleanup spot.
Third base number 30.
3 actually for 4 today.
Soika.
3 singles, a run scored, an RBI, and a strikeout. Angus Denton, though, 2 pitches, 2 outs so far. 1 more pitch, and that could be a 3-pitch, 3-out inning. Soika takes the first pitch away, though, for ball 1. Denton's team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, just lost the College World Series today. 4-0, they were shut out by Oregon State. Though Arkansas had that series in the bag, the 1-0 pitch, right, lined over to right, I should say, where Spears waits for it and catches it for out number 3. So the top of the 8th goes very much like the bottom of the 7th, a 1-2-3 inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. The Oaks have Cockrell, Shaken, and Pickett's due up in the bottom half, trailing by 5 on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Chase Cockrell, the Ole Miss superstar, leads things off here for the Oaks in the bottom of the 8th inning. 5 runs they have to muster up, only 6 outs remaining for them on the offensive end. And it all starts with the middle of the order and the big bat of Chase Cockrell. New pitcher on the mound, Carter Cummins, comes in place of Daniel Zimmerman, who went 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Cockrell 1 for 3 on the day, as the first pitch from Cummins from Doane University is dealt low for ball 1. on the season so far for Carter Cummins. 7 1/3 innings pitched. 6.14 ERA. 6 strikeouts, 11 walks. 1-0 pitch, a swung and a missed. A 1-1 the count here to Cockrell. Cockrell shaken, and Pickett's assuming nobody gets pinch hit for the 3 due up in this inning. The 1-1 pitch. High and deep to left center field. Making a run for it is Yekic. And it drops and hits off the wall. Cockrell will stand on second base with a leadoff double. Had the wind not been blowing, that would have been a home run.
I thought if any ball was going to get out, it was that one. Chase Cockrell got that one with all he had. But it's just a beautiful contact swing that's out at most major league ballparks, at most college ballparks, but not here at Cal Lutheran. But still an extra base hit. And another productive day at the plate for Cockrell.
Probably hit 378 feet out there. 380 to left center is the dimension. Sam Shaken now stepping in. He doubled his last time up. Takes a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. He's 1 for 3 today. A fly out, a pop out into foul territory to third. And a double. He came around to score back in the 6th inning. By the way, there's a new second baseman, Josh Nikoloff, who grounded out to third in a pinch hit attempt last inning. Occupies second as that pitch misses outside. 2-0 the count to Shaken. The Oaks are known as a fourth quarter team. Well, we dubbed them throughout the season, where they produce the bulk of their offense late in games. And they're going to need some stellar offense here in the final 2 innings to come back. 2-0 pitch, though, misses upstairs, ball 3. And Shaken showing the patience. He's 1 ball away from giving the Oaks another base runner. They've only walked once today. That was back in the 2nd inning. That pitch, though, taken at the knees for strike 1. It was Brandon Lewis back in the 3rd inning, I should say, to begin the 3rd inning against Jack Noble. The only walk today the Oaks have drawn, but Sam Shaken working the count here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Cummings toes the rubber and offers. Ripped over to third. Soika looks the runner back to second and fires it over to first. 5-3 put out, puts out number 1 up on the board. Cockrell remains at second base. That brings up Will Pickett's now. Pickett's is 1 for 3 today. A ground out, a bunt single in the 4th, and a ground out in the 6th. Sporting the red and black Pierce Junior College helmet, though he is headed to Cal State Bakersfield in the fall. Michael Tillman waiting on deck. 1 away, 1 on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cummings checks the runner and offers the 0-0. Hit over to center field, though not very hard, as Bandy glides over to his left and makes the catch for out number 2. Once again, the common motif of the season, getting base runners on early in ball games, or early in innings, I should say. Failing to bring them around. That has been the Oaks' Achilles heel all season long, and it remains a problem into this game. Cockrell led off the inning with a double, and he's still standing on second base with 2 outs. And Michael Tillman stepping in. He's struck out 3 times so far in this ball game. And he was the first strikeout for all 3 pitchers that he's faced so far today. Cummins deals the first pitch to him, and he cracks that one in the shallow left field. That one drops. Rounding third and coming home is Cockrell, who tests the arm of Yekic. The throw is cut off, though, and that's an RBI single for Michael Tillman. The Oaks trail now 8-4, slowly trying to chip their way back into this game, though 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
Clean swing from Michael Tillman, indeed. Got his bat out in front of the ball. Was a balanced swing. Stayed back just long enough and ripped one down the left field line to score Cockrell. Very impressive.
He's greeted by his Oaks teammates. Cockrell, that is, back in the dugout. 4-run deficit looks a little bit better than 5 runs, but with only 4 outs remaining on the Oaks offensive side, they'll have to muster up everything they can as Vitt skies one to center field, though Bandy moves over to his right and makes the catch for out number 3. Before that, Vitt was 2 for 3. Now he's 2 for 4. And the 8th inning is over. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. A runner stranded on first base in the form of Michael Tillman. We're through 8 full here. Angus Dent will try to shut down the Orange County Riptide one more time in the top of the 9th to give his offense an opportunity to try to come back in this game. All of that in the 9th inning after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. 8-4 the score. The Ball State Cardinal, Chase Sebi,
Catcher number 20,
leads
Chase
things off
Sebi.
here for the Riptide. They are up 8-4. Angus Denton back on the mound. He had a 5-pitch inning back in the 8th to stifle the Riptide offense. The Oaks were able to muster a run in the bottom half, but still a 4-run deficit, a mountain to climb here as Sebi steps in. He's 0 for 5 today. Check that, 0 for 4. First pitch inside for ball 1. This is his 5th at-bat, I should say. He led off the 6th inning. Getting a second leadoff appearance here in the ball game. 1-0 pitch, catches the outside corner at the knees, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. 8 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Riptide. 4 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. They've stranded 7 on base. 1-1 pitch, slider, belted in the left center field, and that drops for a single. Chase Sebi's on first base with a leadoff single. Denton gives up his first hit of the ball game. And the Riptide once again have a runner on with nobody away, this time though in the top of the 9th inning. Mason McWhorter now the batter, 0 for 3 today, 3 groundouts and a walk, which he turned into a run back in the 6th inning. Georgia Southern product, taking a couple of practice
Your
swings.
attention, please. Coming in a pinch hit.
And actually, no, we're going to have a pinch hitter.
From Clemson, number 21, Matthew Cooper.
Matthew Cooper from Clemson University, a second-year returner for this team, steps in. So McWhorter ends his day 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored, and the Clemson Tiger steps in and skies that one back for strike 1. On the season so far, for Matthew Cooper, a .259 batting average. No home runs, 2 RBIs, 10 strikeouts. 0-1 pitch taken for strike 2 on the inside corner. So he'll likely play at first base in the bottom of the 9th inning. Denton working quickly, deals the 0-2. Slapped foul back off the wall, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. The entire infield, almost with the exception of first base, is engulfed in shadows. No lights here at Sparky Anderson. Though they're trying, Mike Sosha, the ownership for the Oaks, have offered to build lights. They just got brand new lights at the football stadium behind us, but the Homeowners Association has said no so far. That pitch misses outside, 1-2 the count. The Oaks have already had 1 game called due to darkness this season, a 4-4 game going into the 10th inning against the SoCal Catch back in the middle of the month. That game will be played on July 7th, and they've been close a couple of other times. 1-2 pitch, fouled back, count remains the same. Darkness has been an issue. Players have complained that late in games, specifically the 6-5 loss against the Santa Barbara Foresters, they've had trouble seeing the ball, and that does affect their performance. It may sound like an excuse, but I think it's a legitimate one. Denton Offers the 1-2 in the dirt, blocked by Vitt, 2-2 the count. And that may be the one thing that the CCL differs from collegiate and minor versus or major league play is the lack of lights at some of these stadiums. You don't have to play in pure darkness at any other level. 2-2, pitch swung and missed. Beautiful fastball had Cooper swinging and missing. Strikeout number 1 on the day for Denton puts out number 1 up on the board here in the top of the 9th inning. Runner on first, 1 out now. Daniel Hawkins stepping in. He's been a workhorse today. A double, a single, 2 runs scored, a walk, and a ground out. Good for 2 for 3 today. And he'll look to continue his hot day today with a runner on first. Righty on righty matchup here. Denton offers the first pitch. Slider missing low and inside. 1-0 the count. First of a home and home. These two teams will match up again tomorrow, but at Fullerton Community College out in Orange County, about an hour and 45 minutes southwest of here. 1-0 pitch, missing inside, 2-0 the count. Actually southeast. I'm really bad with directions, but I know it's south. At least we got that direction down. But a little bit more east, more inland for Fullerton than where we are, close to the coast in Thousand Oaks. 2-0 pitch from Denton. A strike on the outside corner brings the count to 2-1. The Oaks are out hitting the Riptide, but the difference comes by way of the walks. The Riptide have drawn 7. The Oaks have drawn 1. And that has basically been the bulk of the runs for the Riptide. 2-1 pitch, though, swung and a missed. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Hawkins.
Denton, always a quick worker out on the hill. Already ready to go. Doesn't matter if the Oaks are winning, losing, tied. He always gives his best effort.
From the stretch, 2-2 pitch. Check swing. He say he did not go around. 3-2 now. Denton not often falling behind batters right here as a 3-2 count for the first time of the ball game for him. Through the first 2 innings of the 9 batters that Kevin Holcomb faced, 6 saw 3-2 counts. Payoff pitch, swung and missed. Hawkins goes down swing, the second consecutive strikeout here for the Arkansas Razorback. Puts out number 2 up on the board, and Bradley Yekic. Actually, it looks like we have another pitch. No, it is Bradley Yekic. My mistake, but with a runner on first and 2 away, he will try to extend the top half of the 9th here for the Riptide. 1 for 3 today, a walk, an RBI single and a run scored, a fly out, and he reached on error by Brandon Lewis back in the 7th. Takes a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count. We appreciate everybody who's been watching all game long for making us a part of your day, no matter if you're an Oaks fan, a Riptide fan, or just a fan of the game. It means a lot to us. 0-1 pitch, swung and a missed, 0-2 the count. Sebi takes a step off of first, though Denton has paid him no attention, and for good reason. He has 2 strikeouts, 1 strike away now from striking out 3 straight offers. 1 hopper back to the mountain. Denton doesn't have to move very far to get it. Tosses it over to Lewis for out number 3. 2 strikeouts and a 1-3 putout. Get us out of the top of the 9th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on base. The Oaks have 3 more outs, 3 more at-bats, possibly to make up the 4-run deficit. They'll look to do it on the bottom half of the 9th right after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Cal Lutheran Kingsman, Tanner Wright, will lead the Oaks half of the ninth off here. They trail 8-4, and with an uphill battle, Carter Cummins will try to shut down this offense and end up the game, or close out the game, I should say, keeping the Riptide up in front. Wright's 1 for 3 today, a single, a strikeout, and a ground out to his game. First pitch to him is sliced over the jumping shortstop Paul Gomez's glove into the left field, and that's a way to start off a big inning that the Oaks need. They got a runner on first with no away here in Tanner Wright. By the way, there are a few defensive changes. Left field is now occupied by Aaron Simpson from Ball State. He gets his first appearance of the ball game. And coming in to play first base after getting a pinch hit opportunity in the last inning, Matthew Cooper from Clemson. The rest of the field is the same. Del Gadillo and Luke Bandy still in the outfield. Josh Nicholas, Paul Gomez, and Austin Soika remaining in. That pitch is sliced in the left field. That goes down. Tanner Wright going to third base on the Michael Spears double as he legs it out. And the Oaks get back-to-back base hits on 2 pitches. They have runners in scoring position now, and a big at-bat here for Brandon Lewis. Wow. Things can turn around very quickly here in this ball game with one swing of the bat.
They absolutely can. If Lewis gets on, then you have Elijah Alexander on deck. We know the type of pop he has. And after him, Chase Cockrell, we also know the pop that he has.
The 3 best Oaks hitters as of late, with the exception of Michael Spears, who's now 3 for 5. That matches his total yesterday. He was 3 for 5 yesterday. So make him 6 for 10 in the last 2 days. A smooth 600 for the Ole Miss Rebel. Standing on second base. Second and third. Nobody out. And Brandon Lewis, who already has a home run today, a walk and a single, as well as a strikeout, will step in. Though first, we're going to have a conversation on the mound here for the Riptide and their coaching staff. Jason Smith is going to talk to his pitcher. Actually, no, it looks like Cummins' day is over. We'll give you his line, who the new pitcher is, and the rest of this 9th inning after the break on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. 2 on, nobody away, 8-4 the score. Don't go anywhere. Jacob Parker from Georgia Southern is the new pitcher on the mound. He'll try to stifle this Oaks offense, though it won't be easy on the season. 7 innings pitched, 1.29 ERA. Leads the team, and he'll have to face the bulk of this Oaks order with a 4-run lead, though 2 on in scoring position and no outs. The first pitch to Brandon Lewis is low for ball 1. Carter Cummins' day is done. 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, no strikeouts. And the big bat of Brandon Lewis, waiting for the pitch that he could try to sky out of here, or at least get on base. 1-0 offering. Drops low, ball 2. Jacob Parker scoring the number 40 on his back, I should say. has been a pitcher of record in 6 games. He's 1-0 though, as that one is skied deep to center field. That won't be enough to score the third baseman, though. That goes off the wall. It looked like there was a play out there in center for Bandy, but it wasn't. One run comes around. The throw as Spears dives in. It's not in time. Brandon Lewis doubles in 2 runs, and just like that, the tying run comes up to the plate in the form of Elijah Alexander. The score is 8-6 here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Postpone your dinner reservations, folks, because we got a great finish up coming here from George Sparky Anderson Field. Brandon Lewis, how clutch can you be? Off the end of the bat, but that ball just kept on traveling. Now Alexander represents the tying run.
Elijah Alexander is 1 for 4 today. He was a home run shy of the cycle yesterday. Lewis dancing at second. The first pitch is up and away for ball 1. By the way, for Jacob Parker, he has yet to give up more than 2 runs in a game all season long, which means that double that he gave up to the first batter he faced has already made it his worst outing. That curveball, though, finds the zone. 1-1 the count. Chase Cocker waiting on deck, and the Oaks are very happy to have this part of the order up. This is the bulk of the order, the all-star players, and they're coming through right now. 8-6 the score. 1-1 pitch here from Parker. Big swing and a miss, 1-2 the count, and for Parker, a big spot. Working the count, you have to keep these Oaks batters off balance. You gave up a double, you gave up 2 runs, but who cares? Your team is still in the lead, and that's all that matters right now. Don't worry about what you just did. Shake it off and keep pitching, and that's what he's doing right now. 1-2 pitch to Alexander. Cracked foul into the softball field. Count remains 1-2. 8 runs, 11 hits, and an error for the Riptide. 6 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. That eclipses their highest hit total of the season. 1-2 pitch, misses up and away. It looked like a waste pitch there, 2-2 the count. With the setting sun, no sunlight left shining on the field here. No more shadows to speak of as it peeks over the hill behind us. 2-2 pitch from Parker. Low and away, ball 3, and Alexander, the 5-tool baseball player who has the power, the contact, the speed, and the skill to absolutely rake against anybody, showing the patience here. He has worked his way back into this count, down 1-2 earlier. 3-2 pitch, the payoff in. Popped up into foul territory. Calling for it and diving and making the catch beautifully is Aaron Simpson, the left fielder, for out number 1. Gets that ball in quickly as Brandon Lewis stays put at second base. Now 1 out here, and the tying run at the plate in the form of Chase Cockrell, and you want this guy up if you have anybody up, because he has been the most reliable Oak all season long. He's 2 for 4 today.
What a play by Simpson out of left field. I mean, this is his first inning on defense. He comes into the game ready to go, and he makes a sliding catch to steal an out away from the Oaks.
Chase Cockrell now digging in here. 2 for 3. Check that, 2 for 4. Takes a first pitch strike at the knees. He has a run scored, a double, a single, and 2 ground outs. No runs. In the 7th inning, the Oaks are able to get 1 in the 8th and 2 so far in the 9th. The 0-1 pitch to Cockrell bounces in the dirt. Good block by Sebi, though. Brings the count to 1-1 here. 1's across the board now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away, 1 on. Though 2 around so far. Cockrell was about a foot short of a home run the last time he was up. If he can recreate it without the wind blowing right now, could tie the ball game. 1-1 pitch, belts him, and it looks like on the left wrist. Are they calling a foul ball on that? The umpire's asking to see his hand, which I've never seen. I don't know if that's allowed. I think you either call it a ball or you call it a hit by pitch, or you call it a strike. You can't just say, by the mark on your hand, I'm going to make my decision. That call has to be quick. And head coach Schlese knows that, and he's striding out to the talk of the umpire. I've never seen that before. And they're going to call it a foul ball. Cockrell's not sure why. He's claiming that it hit him, but because apparently there's no mark, the umpire's going to say that it was foul tipped off the bat. I've never seen that before.
I mean, I think it did hit the bat of Chase Cockrell, so I think ultimately it's the right call, but the way the home plate umpire one about this call makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If it hit the bat, it doesn't matter if it also hit Cockrell. If it hits any part of the bat, it's automatically a foul ball, so I don't know what he's checking for.
Well, I think he was checking just to see if it hit him, because Cockrell said that the ball hit him on the hand.
Right, but if it also hits the bat, it
No,
doesn't matter.
of course. But the conversation was it a hit by pitch? And normally you don't see an umpire make a call 5 seconds after, 10 seconds after the pitch was made. Normally it's a snap call, and you have to stick to that judgment. But right there, he had to have Cockrell try to prove it to him. 1-2 pitch, bounces in the dirt, gets away from Sebi, though he regains it quickly. 2-2 the count. Cockrell still showing the patience. And Solis did walk away to the dugout shaking his head. I wonder if he's ever seen that before in his 20-plus years of coaching.
And now, Jonathan, we're in a race against time. Sun is setting and no lights here.
2-2 pitch here from Parker. Bounces in the dirt, another block by Sebi. He's been getting dirty lately. And Cockrell works his way to a 3-2 count. The second here consecutively for Parker. He got Elijah Alexander to pop out into foul territory into left with a 3-2 pitch last at bat. Cockrell was named a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award this past season, though it was just announced that Andrew Vaughn from Cal won it. Payoff pitch here. Cracked foul, protecting hard as Cockrell will do it again. In on the hands, he actually had a triple yesterday that was on a jam shot. He was jammed inside and still found a hole in Sinsheimer to leg out a triple, and right here, doing his best to protect once again. Lewis takes a couple of steps off of second base. Parker checks him. Payoff pitch in the dirt. Ball 4. And Cockrell draws a very much anticipated walk. Puts runners on first and second with one out. The tying runs on base now, and Sam Shaken is stepping in here.
The shortstop.
Looking for the clutch that he has channeled all season long to try to drive in these runs as Tyler Ryan comes in as a pinch runner for the Oaks from the University of the Pacific.
Number 34, Tyler Ryan.
And what a clutch at bat from Chase Cockrell. Ice in his veins. Didn't try to do too much and ultimately waited long enough for the walk.
Patience pays at times. Runners on first and second. Only the second walk drawn by the Oaks all game long. And the first pitch here to Shaken, who has a hit today, is popped fouled for strike one. We'll see here if the hit and run is on, but you don't want to risk a double play on the hit and run, a miss, and getting one of your leadoff runners out on base. There's a lot of high-risk, high-reward opportunities here, but we'll see how cautious the Oaks play it on the offensive side.
A lot of room out in left center field. If a ball plugs the gap over there, this game will be tied.
0-1 pitch, swung and missed. 0-2 the count now to Shaken. He does have a double in today's game and a run scored, but 3 outs otherwise. 1 for 4 on the ball game.
Quite a bit of sink on the pitch from Parker right there. Fastball looked to be right down the middle, and it sunk back to the back foot. Shaken had no chance.
Parker towing the rubber. Infield and double play depth in the middle part. Checks Lewis at second. Pearson fires the 0-2 pitch. Shaken cracks it over to third on the hop. It's fielded by Soika over to second for 1. But Nicholas cannot turn 2, and that puts runners on the corners now on the fielder's choice 5-4. 8-6 still the score. And the Oaks will have Drew Sims coming in to pinch hit in the place of Will Picketts.
Your attention, please. Coming in a pinch hit for the Oaks. From Utah Valley, number 6, Drew Sims.
Drew Sims had a great day yesterday for the Oaks in the 8th spot, went 2 for 4. He's been hitting well so far in the season from Utah Valley University. The Oaks need one swing of the bat in the deep part of the ballpark to score a Shaken as that pitch is upstairs for ball 1. And the Riptide need 1 out to end this ball game, but the Oaks have not made it easy here in the 9th inning.
Who's going to step up and be the hero? The Oaks have had so many comeback chances, but they haven't been able to go all the way.
1-0 pitch to Sims, a strike on the outside corner at 94. Scorching hot there from the Georgia Southern pitcher. Wow. Fastest pitch of the ball game so far.
One of the fastest of the year.
Sims batting .391, leads the team in OPB on base percentage with .417 stint. Foul tips that pitch back off the glove of Sebi. 1-2 the count. 90 miles an hour. These batters are facing some incredible heat out there from Jacob Parker, and he's one strike away from ending this ball game. The Oaks have 2 runs in the inning. Tying run on first base. 1-2 count here. Parker toes the rubber and gets ready to deal. Fires it in. Light hopper into right field. That one goes in for a single. Shaken round second, stays at second. But coming in and scoring is Brandon Lewis, and Drew Sims bloops one out there, and the Oaks now trail 8-7. All they need is a base knock here with 2 away from Michael Tillman, and this game could be tied.
Number 27, Michael Tillman.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the most resilient teams I've ever seen, and now you have Michael Tillman, who dropped a base hit on maybe his best swing of the season in his last at-bat, swinging a hot bat and stepping in right here.
Coming in a pinch run for the Oaks. Number 5, Andrew Lucas.
Andrew Lucas coming in on first base to pinch run for Sims. A lot of changes in this inning. The Oaks, though, really fighting to stay in this ball game. They were trailing by 4 runs into the bottom of the 9th. They put up 3 in the tying run at second base, but 2 away. First pitch here to Tillman. Misses inside for ball 1. What an exciting game, no matter how this one ends. The Oaks seem to be keeping them in close. Last week on Tuesday, the Oaks lost to the Foresters 6-4, excuse me. 6-5 with the tying run at third base, and they lost to the Saints the next day. Tillman gets that one in the left field. Rounding third and coming home and shaking. The throw is not in time, and this game is tied. The tide has turned here at Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks put up 4 big runs, and it is all tied up at 8 apiece on the the RBI single by Michael Tillman. What an inning.
Truly remarkable. Wow. I can't believe they came all the way back. They score 5 runs in the final 2 innings to come all the way back. And now Coach Ali's probably going to go talk to the umpire about maybe the darkness issue, because it is getting pretty dark here.
Wow, what a game. I think they're going to let them play out the inning at least. The Oaks have the game-winning run on second base. They have been resilient. It has been fun. And now there's going to be a conversation. Parker probably will still be out there as he talks to his head coach, but 8 runs on 17 hits. 2 errors for the Oaks. Have a ball game, Canaro Oaks. 8 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. Have a ball game, Orange County Riptide. This has been the most exciting game of the season, at least for the Oaks. Riptide fans, I hope you're enjoying this one on your end as well. I know you wanted a win, but at the end of the day, games like this are just more fun no matter who wins at the end.
Oh, yeah, great baseball on both sides, and the relievers out in the bullpen actually going to come back into the dugout. So that tells me that this will be the final frame of this ball game. If the Oaks come out on top, they will be winners, but if not, I'm pretty sure they will delay this and play out the end another time.
They'll either play out the end tomorrow or when the Riptide come back in July. First pitch to Bryce Vitt is a one-hopper back to Mount Parker. Chases it down and tags first base. And just like that, the 9th inning is over, but the Oaks put up 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on base. This ball game is tied, but it looks like they're going to call it due to darkness. They will. So we're going to leave it there. 8-8 the score. This game is called due to darkness. They'll play it out at another time. I'll let you know the date here in a moment. But the final line for now, 8 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, 8 stranded on base for the Riptide. 8 runs, 17 hits, 2 errors, and 9 stranded on base for the Oaks. It has been a fun game. It's been a resilient game. It looks like this game will finish out on Saturday, July 14th, when the Oaks, Sunday, July 15th, when the Oaks host the Riptide, because this is a home game. The Oaks then will have to be the host team once again to finish out the game. More details, stay tuned to Twitter on the OC side or the Oaks side. We'll keep everybody posted, but I guess we'll have to wrap it up here, Jordan. What a game.
Unbelievable. Any team in the CCL, let me caution you, no lead is safe against this Oaks team. They have shown an ability to come back from any deficit, and that is a really scary thought for a team that hasn't been clicking so far this year. But going forward, if they can get their act together, this is not a team you're going to want to be facing in the playoffs.
There is a conversation with the coaches at home plate, but I do believe this game is called. Let's go over some stats for the Riptide. They have had a phenomenal day, 11 big hits so far. Again, this game is called Due to Darkness, but Luke Bandy reached base 4 times today, 2 for 3. 2 singles, 2 walks, an RBI, and a run scored for him. Chase Sebi reached base 3 times, once by an error, but 2 singles for him as well. And Daniel Hawkins, 3 for 5, a double, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and a strikeout. On the Oaks side, Michael Spears is 3 for 5. Brandon Lewis has 3 RBIs, a home run, and a double, as well as a single. He's 4 for 5. And Chase Cockrell
against the Pacific Union Capitalists
went 3 for 5 as well, with a single, a double,
We hope to see you there.
and a run scored. Well, we're going to sign off here. The Oaks and the Riptide will play one more time tomorrow in the home and home at 4:30. We'll be live 4:15 for that one. This game, once again, will be concluded likely on the Sunday when the Riptide return to the Oaks. That'll be July 15th, though if they do decide to play it out elsewhere at a different date, we will let you know on the Oaks side, and I'm sure the Orange County side as well. But for everybody, every single person watching, making us a part of your evening, we thank you. It has been a fun game, perhaps the most fun all season long. And for everybody who made this broadcast possible, from the OC side to the Oaks side, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, my name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. We'll see you tomorrow, 4:30 start, when the Oaks and the Riptide duke it out one more time for Fullerton College. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening.